And I'm about to hit the record button. Excuse me. Now. All right, let's do this thing. Hello, everybody. What's up? Welcome to the Full Gear review. Full Gear, AEW, Newark, New Jersey, at the Presidential Center, right?
I
Yeah,
guess.
It was
yeah,
a person. Yeah.
yep. New Jersey. This show, a lot to say about. But first, let my co-hosts introduce themselves.
In the building, Black Shaggy, same as always, DR Elite. Let's get it.
Yeah. Man. Yeah. 40 Cal, Kyle Coleman. Yeah, that's getting.
All right. One thing I will say before we start this review, I do want to say rest in peace to Jason David Frank, who was the green and white Power Ranger, the original and whatnot. Like, he's been in the Power Rangers for a very long time, but I will say I was sad to read about his passing about an hour or two ago from suicide.
Yeah, that fucked me up when you said it. I mean, I wasn't even a Power Rangers guy, but like I know Power Rangers, and like when you said that and how it happened, I'm like, holy shit, that's crazy.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know who Tommy
That,
is, definitely.
my boy, man. I was like, I was just waking up, and he had just texted me. He had texted me that Tommy had passed. I'm like, man, get out of here. Then I had looked it up. I'm like, get out of here, man. Yeah, man. Rest in peace.
Yeah, I was definitely surprised to hear about that. Like, the Kevin Conroy one already kind of messed me up a little already, but
That
I'm like,
killed me,
dang,
man.
that low key killed my soul that day. That fucked my whole day up.
Yup.
I, I was off my square. So yeah, definitely rest peace to Tommy. Um, anybody watch the pre-show?
No, sir.
But I went back
Yeah,
to watch it this morning. I didn't watch the pre-show.
I'll be honest, you didn't miss much. Um, all I'll say is this is what happened. I know they had like QT Marshall, the factory. It was like some fat 10-man tag versus the best friends, Rocky Romero and Danhausen, who came out later in the match.
Damn, I missed a factory match. Shit.
Hey man, that QT
Man,
man, he set the world on fire.
Shit. Apparently, bro.
Just QT. That's
I'm
that's
telling
that's
you, man, he is a mainstay on the pre-show all the time. You will most definitely always get a factory match on the pre-show, no doubt about it. I'm telling you that it never fails.
lucky
The
lucky
factory
he's on the
being the factory being the first thing these fans see when they come. That's crazy, bro. Pre-show or not, like
I'm telling you, you go back to all the pre-show graphics or matches if you can, and you will always see somebody from the factory, or either the factory or somebody from the factory, is going to be in that pre-show match.
Oh
my
yeah.
God,
I didn't even know Lee Johnson was in the thing. Like, when did he get there?
must have happened on Dark or something,
Like
man.
a couple of weeks ago, yeah, it was a few weeks ago.
Oh,
So,
okay, because I
it was
didn't know.
out of the clear blue. It was out of the clear blue. Like bro just said, it was on dark. So if you ain't watching dark, you ain't really keep it up. I'm not keeping up, so I don't know what One day I saw the nigga on Dynamite, and I'm like, huh? When did this happen? You know,
Yeah, like Athena turned heel on Dark. So when people were asking, "Wait, Athena's heel now?" Like, yeah, that happened on Dark. So I guess they're trying to make it canon, but nobody's watching it.
Yeah, that's
nobody
the
watching.
thing.
You don't have enough people watching dark to make things canon. You know, one day somebody have purple hair, or one day they come back on Dynamite, he have a whole green hair. You be like, hold on, I thought that man had purple hair. It's like, nah, he changed it on dark. It's like, what?
Right.
Yeah,
And niggas not
when
even
did
watching
it
Rampage. We about to watch Dark, bro. Like,
happen?
There we go.
I
Uh,
literally just went
I
back.
think
I literally went back to watch Rampage to see what happened. I didn't really see nothing, and I'm like, oh, Athena's there, and then it looked like they trying to set her up in a feud with Mercedes Martinez, which I don't even know what happened to her. Like she just happened to pop back up now.
I think she got hurt.
Because I'm like, last time I remember, she was at that Ring of Honor pay-per-view, and that
Hurt
was
on
kind of it.
Dark, I think.
I was on Dark, okay, because I don't. I'm like, is she the Ring of Honor Women's Champion or something? And I'm like,
Martinez.
yep,
Come on, Martinez. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
As far as I know, she hasn't lost it, but I'm pretty sure I heard that she got hurt.
okay, because I didn't know what happened. I just saw her come out, and because they had Athena beating up Madison Rain, and then she just came out there, and that was it. So it's like you don't even know who's turning heel unless you actually look it up. I'm like, okay, I say, when did this happen? And the only reason why I knew about the Athena one because everybody was talking about the whole stiff match, and I saw a lot of people was commenting on about that because I saw Booker T and like, well, he did train her, and then he didn't like what was going on.
Yeah, that was the catalyst for her turning heel because like the next week on Dark, she was doing that. So now that's just who she is now.
Why he use a good tactics on stuff like Dark and Elevation and stuff like that? He should have used these good tactics on Dynamite and Rampage. That's a great tactic. Oh, whoa! Everybody talking about how stiff you are. Go in the next match and be stiff like. Don't be stiff, but just be
Aggressive. Yeah.
Yeah, just show some rage.
So whoever came up with that plan that was beautiful because that was a good way to turn her heel. You know what I'm saying? So
Well, then we'd have to put Athena on Dynamite, and we just can't do that.
Yeah, because I feel like she needed to turn heel because it's like it wasn't doing nothing face with her on Dynamite. It just kind of fell off when she was face.
Yeah, we're going to bring that point back up later on. That same thing you just said.
I'm telling you, bro. We're gonna break that point up because I have a lot to say about that division once we get there.
Yeah, we gonna get to it.
It is review too. That's crazy.
Oh, we're gonna get to it. We definitely will. But the only other thing on the pre-show, I know they had talked to Kenosuke Takashita, who is now signed with AEW, so he does have a contract with them now. I don't think he's with DDT anymore, but they got a good get. Kenosuke's really good. I like
Takeshita? My man said Takashita. All right.
Takeshita.
All right, JR.
I can't never get it right. If I was Takashita, I kept everybody else saying that, like Takeshita. All right, Takeshita, my bad. Try not to butcher his name. But no, they got a good get though. He's really good.
I mean, put a whole other syllable in that name.
Put a whole syllable. But nah, though they got a good get though. Like his matches have been good, so I'm glad they did sign him though.
I call that man Young Goat, bro. He out here every time I see him, nothing but bangers, bro.
Agreed, definitely agreed. So they got a good get right there. Also, Brian Cage versus Ricky Starks in a AEW Eliminator semifinal title match tournament thingy.
That should have been the only pre-show match. Like that's it, and make it go like 20 minutes.
That would have been.
Well, we had 3 of them.
That would have been a good one too because it had some stipulation to it. It was a tournament match. It was 2 guys that not bad, especially Ricky Starks. I really think that if they could do something with him, he could be a future star. But
and they got history.
He should Cage. And they got history. Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so, Team Taz.
That should have been
Taz.
Team Taz. Duh. I forgot about Brian Cage being a Team Taz. I totally forgot. That was like so early days. You forget all about that. You feel me because he been away from AEW and been around Ring of Honor for so long before he popped back up.
Yeah, that nigga been gone for like a year.
I know, he just disappeared.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And he popped that back up like a couple of months ago, like, oh, I'm with these guys. He's like, who are these guys? Y'all probably know, but I did it, Gates of Agony. I ain't know until they start, popping up. And I like, what are they doing with him? To be honest with you, at early times, I thought that Cage was it. You know what I'm saying? Especially at Impact, I really thought so. But the more and more I see his matches, is the more and more I kind of move away from him because the more he does a lot of stuff that I deem unnecessary. To me, I deem unnecessary sometimes. You know, I just feel like the jacked up dude don't need to. It need to look like he a Bane without the costume. I don't think he needs to be flipping. To me, I just don't see. I don't need that type of stuff from my guys who look like him. It kind of take away from the other guys who needs it, like the little ones, the little smaller guys who need to do the flippy, high flying stuff to get over. Here's you can walk around and slam niggas and use brute force, and you can get over it like that.
I hear that.
Like,
Yeah, I
yeah,
see your point.
it's a personal opinion. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at Cage. I just
I
look at
hear that.
you know
Oh yeah, I agree.
go for like guys like Luchasauras and you know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, was that match good? It wasn't good.
It was enjoyable. It was okay. Starks went over. He hit the Rochambeau and won. I know they had Ethan Page on commentary, basically just staring down, looking and whatnot. But I figured Starks was gonna win anyway, so it was good.
Page should be good.
Crowd seen them to it.
Page should be good though.
See, here's the
So
thing, man. Wrestling companies, my thing is they need to decide if the pre-show is to just get everybody on the card or if it's actually to try and bring people in to watch the pay-per-view. Because if
Yeah,
you're going to put,
love that point.
because Starks versus Cage, right? Like bro said, man, it's got stakes with this tournament. They have got history with each other, and we're trying to build Starks and I guess to an extent Cage up. So why not just give this the spotlight of the pre-show, let it go like 20 minutes so these fans already get a banger in before we get to the show, and people who just watch this on YouTube or whatever are like, oh, this is what we doing, like. But now we starting the show with the factory and all like what are we trying to actually do here? Are we trying to just get niggas on the card, or are we trying to do something really good with the pre-show, bro?
I think it's just to get
I
people
love
on the
that
card.
point.
It's been like that for a while.
I, I love that point because here's the thing, and let's just say somebody like me who wasn't even thinking about watching it at first, and I could just be sitting there watching a YouTube match. It could be a banger, like you just said, like a Ricky Starks going against, somebody else, because I don't think he would have got a banger per Cage, but I think it would have been a servable match for me to think, man, I might buy this full gear today. Man, I might do that. Yeah, I'm gonna stay in on a Saturday night and watch this full gear because if they gonna show me this for free, I know they're gonna show me something great for $50, right? So you would think like that, but they like you just said, they over here showing me the factory. They gonna turn me off quick. Like, no, if they gonna show me that, who else they got? They could have shown somebody better. You got a whole roster of people. Use them. This is the same stuff we used to complain about with the WWE. If you got a roster full of guys, use them.
Facts.
That's true. That's definitely true because we got 3 pre-show matches on this show. So like it wasn't done yet. We got another one. It was Eddie Kingston versus Jun Akiyama. Um, you know, it wasn't bad. I don't know if the crowd was that excited for it. It obviously meant a lot to Eddie Kingston because he started crying after the match and whatnot. So it meant a lot to him. I don't know a lot about Jun Akiyama. I only know very little of him. But when they interviewed Kingston in the back, it's like, well, he's watched him since he was 18. And he wanted to copy off that style and whatnot. So Kingston won. He hit his back fist thing, and he started hugging and crying, and then Ortiz came out and hugged him, and then he kept asking like, how much time I got left, and telling whoever's right there to watch him on time. I got 2 minutes left, and he's like, all right, yeah, everybody buy the pay-per-view. Thank all the fans for coming here. Moxley's gonna kick MJF's ass. All right, they told me I gotta go. See ya. MJF's still a piece of shit, he says.
Yeah, I'm gonna call Tony Khan a perpetual bag fumbler, and I'm going to say this about 3 more times. Remember when Eddie Kingston was like the most over thing in wrestling?
Yeah. What happened to that?
Feeling guy, the most real feeling guy that you had. He made you feel. It made it feel real every time he stepped in the ring or opened his mouth. He made it feel real. And then all of a sudden, this what you do. This what you
Yeah,
do on pre-shows
This
now.
the second time he's been on the pre-show. Back it all out. He would against
I
Ishii.
yeah.
they try to this what they try to do with him. Oh yes, he on the pre-show, but look who his opponents are. He went against Ishii, y'all. Look, that's a top name, you know. But it's on the pre-show. Oh, so what is on the pre-show? He going against Ishii though. It's like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Y'all doing this man wrong. To be perfectly honest with you, like I just can't. Like you just said. You fumbled. He fumbled the bag with Eddie Kingston.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm gonna say that 3 more times during the show. So that's all I'm gonna say on it right now. But that's one. Eddie Kingston, bag fumbled.
I will say this because he was the shit at one point, but it's almost like after the feud with Jericho, this guy's either been on the pre-show or just randomly doing stuff, or he's just hanging out with Ortiz just because, or whatever's going on. But like, yeah, this guy was like one of the most over things around, and then it just kind of they let that fall off, and now he's just going against pre-shows. Like, I get it, the match meant a lot to him. Like, you could obviously see it in his face, but let's be honest here. How many people in that crowd really knew who Jun Akiyama really was? Like, literally, because even I saw that, I don't think the crowd really knew who he was.
They were probably better off doing the tag match they did on Rampage here instead of the one-on-one match.
Yeah, that would have been better. At least they would have known who some of the people are already. But
plus, Takeshita just got signed, so I mean, why not just do that? Announce him being signed and then have the match on the pre-show. Like,
there you go. I don't know why, but we move on into now the main part of the show, of the pay-per-view. With the first match, I know they had Jim Ross, Excalibur, and Taz was on commentary. All 3 of them were on commentary for the cage match to kick it off. Jungle Boy versus Luchasaurus with Christian Cage out there. This cage match, I thought it was a good opener. I thought it
was fire.
Yeah, because I thought it was really good. I know they had Jungle Boy's mom and sister out there. I will say I thought it's kind of odd that you could just leave the cage and come back with weapons. I'm like, are you supposed to escape the cage? That's what I kept thinking and whatnot. But it's like
I guess they don't have the door escape rule to it, because I see they were trying to escape it by climbing the cage. I saw that earlier in the match and stuff. I thought it was too early to have that type of spot though. You know what I'm saying? Them escaping the cage. It's only been like 3 minutes into the match and somebody already climbing the cage. They're like, hold on, wait a second.
Well, AEW, they don't have the escape rule at all. So if he, when he's climbing up, that's probably to do a move or something. But it's all their joints are pinfall submission, all their cage matches.
Which it should. All cage matches should. I'm sorry. Yeah. We should just knock the whole escape rule off, because the point of the cage match is I lock you in this cage and it's just me, you, mano a mano, with nobody around. Nobody can get in and nobody can get out, and we just gonna whoop each other. That's what the cage match was usually for. But now you gotta have interference and people try to escape. Come in the cage, and people try to escape out the cage. You're like, come on, man! The cage match was just supposed to be a brutal knockdown match that a few enter, to be perfectly honest.
Which I think this was. I think we're done here until Christian is healed.
Yeah, until Christian Cage is well enough
healed. Right, it should.
Because they end up dragging him to the back and everything, and whatnot, security. And like I said, it just became Lucha Boy and not Lucha Boy. Wow, I'm getting the names wrong. Luchasaurus. I said Lucha Boy. Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy Jack Perry there, which Jungle Boy is just bleeding like crazy out there. Until he started to
the first 5 minutes of the match.
Blood.
to hit the timer to see. I'm like, hold on, where we at in this match? Wait a second, this is only the first 5 minutes. I wasn't expecting him to bleed that quick. I
He
knew
bled a lot too.
bleed, but
Man,
not.
he was like a faucet. He bled like a faucet out there.
Honestly, in terms of actual investment in what was going on, this is probably my match of the night. Because later on, I think the Fatal 4-Way in terms of like wrestling was probably the match of the night. But in terms of what actually was going on story-wise and everything, this is probably my match of the night.
I thought good match. I thought it was really good. I love the elbow off the cage. That was brutal.
Oh my gosh. Shawn Michaels style, that was fire.
Yeah, he's right. It was just a one leap, like you just said, like Shawn Michaels said, one leap is like he came straight down. To be honest with you, like the first part of the match, I wasn't too much invested because Luchasauras slow plotting, dissected, beat it up, Jungle Boy. It was just like, can we move on? Once Jungle Boy got, you know what I'm saying? Once Jungle Boy got in control and started, being a control of the match, then that's when it picked up for me. I'm like, all right, cool. It started picking up for me. I already started to dig the match a little bit. Now I like the end of the match. It was really symbolic. Not symbolic, but it was like it felt good. And that's what it's supposed to have felt, Like it felt good for Jungle Boy to do that to Luchasaurus after all the time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like story-wise, this the one on the show because this has probably been the best built thing on this card out of everything. So when he finally beat Luchasaurus, like you said, it felt good. Like, and that's why I gave it my match of the night because it was just like, yeah, this is how a story in wrestling should be. Bad guy loses, and that's it.
Payback. He got his payback after his friend turned on him and whatnot. So he finally got it. He got the big payback on him. He still got to get Christian, but he got through the first stage and whatnot. So now he has to want Christian whenever he gets well. But I enjoyed the opener though. It was really good. Next, yes, the 6-man trios titles. I'm sure everybody's got a lot to say about this one. The Death Triangle versus the Elite. And I'm going to try to do my best to keep both things separate from the match and the other thing, of course, we all know about. Because honestly, this match, I'm gonna stick on the match part first. It was what it was. It was good. I thought
it was okay.
It was a spot fest. Well, we all knew it was gonna be a spot fest, so I'm not surprised by that. But it was good though.
But here's the thing with that match, it was actually a little loud for who was in it. You know what I'm saying? It was.
Well, you know why, right?
Oh yeah.
We gotta do it 6 more times.
Right. I was just about to say we'll get to that.
we gonna get to that part. I got a lot to say about that shit.
So it was like, all right, I'm about to tell you 2 different versions of me. All right, the first version was when I was watching the match as it was going, and I was like, oh, okay, they're kind of bad. They do all the something that I usually would see from a Young Bucks and a Lucha Brothers match. You know what I'm saying? The Elite against the Death Triangle. I would have saw a lot of crazy stuff. Then later on that night, I saw that. I'm like, hold on, wait a second. Time out. We about to do this 7 times.
Crazy, bro.
We about to do 7 times. Who up for this? Who is up for this? My goodness, bro.
He just made it best of 3 or like
I don't know. A best of 3 would have been better. A best of 3 would have been much better. Much better.
I don't want to see this 7 times. It is like, what are we gonna get? Like stipulation matches? Like it's all gonna be spot fest at the end of the day. There's no doubt about that. It's just gonna be a long running spot fest. And you know, Death Triangle ended up winning this match due to the hammer shot that Pac handed Phoenix, and they retained the titles and stuff, which I'm sure people was happy about that. Because if you remember what happened last time at All Out, Tony was so hell bent on putting the titles on the Elite that he couldn't do it again. He couldn't do it again. So at least the Death Triangle actually went over and stuff, because people would have got mad if the Death Triangle lost. Then.
Yeah, after this match,
I think that was a right at All Out before that talk about before the media storm. I would say that was the best team to put those belts on first. Real talk. It was the Elite. I would have never thought about the Death Triangle first. I would have thought about the Elite first to have those titles. Whoever take those titles off of the Elite will be elevated more, elevated a little bit more, because you beat Kenny Omega, who was a former World Heavyweight Champion, and you beat the former Tag Team Champions for those trio belts. So I think you would have been better to get that rub from them if you beat them. Yeah, I don't think it was hell bent. I don't think he was forced to the issue. I think he did the right thing by putting those belts on them. Nobody saw the future. Nobody saw 2 hours later that they were going to bust in somebody else's room. You know what I'm saying? Nobody saw that. Nobody saw that CM Punk was going to go crazy on the mic or in the media scrum. Nobody saw that. Nobody. So that would have been a great move to put them belts on them.
Yeah, I said this to you after the match, Bryce, that I agreed with you that it would have done them a disservice to put the belts back on the Elite, because then it would have just came across like, well, I made these belts for these niggas, so if they're here, they're having these belts, and nobody like
EVP powers.
They're going to get them again. No doubt about it.
Not even like EVP powers, but it's like he said before they introduced the tag titles that he was going to make these with them in mind. And so when they won them the first time, it's like, all right, cool. Just like Kyle said, that makes perfect sense. But now it's like, well, you can't just put the belts back on them and just say, fuck Death Triangle. So right after this match, I thought it was cool that they won. But then later on, they announced that we're doing this 6 more times. And I'm kind of like, wait, did they just win here because they're going to lose like 3 more times to the Elite?
Yeah. Ain't nobody stupid. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody dumb. This whole Best of 7 thing is only for the Elite.
Because that's trash if that's what we do, bro. That's so trash.
Yeah, but that's
why do we want to see this 6 more times?
You better bring that trash can out, because it is. That's exactly what they're going to do.
Because I'll say I don't think anybody really wants to see it. The only thing I probably care about more, which I heard a few hours ago, I'd rather see Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega at Wrestle Kingdom coming up. That's the match I want to see now. Like, I don't need to see this match 6 more fucking times. All right, I don't need to see it. I don't think it's gonna help the ratings a lot. It's just like, who are you doing this for? Like, how many people want to see this? And I said I would keep 2 things separate, because I've been on one part with the match. Now with the other part, I'm sure everybody is gonna think, listen, we all heard what the crowd said, which obviously CM Punk lives rent-free in these people's minds in that arena, but saying fuck CM Punk and Cole Cabana. But again, I gotta remember what fans I'm dealing with here and whatnot. I'm not saying CM Punk did everything that he did was right when it came to that whole media scrum, but I'm not gonna sit here and give the fucking Elite a pass. That's why I found it laughable when they was coming back. I was just like, is this really gonna change anything? Like literally, like, come on. Like, at the end of the day, we know who's the biggest star.
No.
Wait till I get to Chicago this Wednesday. Let's see how that shit go.
Let's play devil advocate, though. Let's play devil advocate. You know what I'm saying? Okay. I love doing that, because here's the thing: we're gonna have to see it both ways. All right, people gonna pick sides. You know what I'm saying? That's the nature of the beast. People want to pick sides. If people gonna pick the same side you on, people gonna pick the side against you. So no doubt about it, people is going to pick sides. That these people, even though you probably look at it like, oh man, well, we should give them a pass too. But here's the thing: the people who picked CM Punk side are giving CM Punk a pass too. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't like it's just only one side that one side is only giving the other person a pass. Like both sides are giving each other they representative they a pass. You know what I'm saying? Because here's the thing: even though it was truth hour with Punk, because I to me I believe everything he said. Wait, it's a time and a place for every day.
That's true.
That wasn't the right. That wasn't the right time at all. At all. And then that's his wrong. Their wrong is you should be busting the people wrong when you're the EVP. You know what I'm saying? That's you don't do that. So they both was wrong on that situation. I can't give both of them a pass because they were both wrong. CM Punk went off at the mouth on the mic, and they decided to not be composed, and they go bust in somebody's room and try to start a fight. So both of them in the wrong. I ain't like the fans doing that because here's the thing: y'all picking sides and when both people are wrong.
Exactly, bro. This has always been my stance on it because as a nigga who likes both CM Punk and the Elite, I've always looked at this completely objectively. My thing is, none of these niggas know these niggas, bro. You weren't there. You don't know what happened. So the fact that people are picking sides makes no sense to me, bro. Because
No,
here's the thing: what you just said is absolutely fact, bro. People are only those who want to support CM Punk are only going to hear the CM Punk side of the story and agree with that. And those who want to agree with the Elite are only going to hear that side and agree with that side. Y'all don't know these niggas, bro. Like, I don't give a damn what they do outside of the ring. When they in the ring, work and we can, that's it, bro. I don't need nothing else that isn't related to what's going on in the ring. Matter of fact, I mean, I probably could rock with Punk in real life more than I would rock with the Elite because the Bucks come across as probably what they are. But it's just like, bro, he was wrong. They were wrong. But at the end of the day, you shouldn't even have a stake in what happened because you don't know these people. Like, who gives a damn, bro? Who cares?
The thing. And like I always say it like this, like man, and to be honest with you, I I I like I told you, like I just said, if I had one, yeah, you know, because I would hear more logic coming from CM Punk. But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. It's always missing plot holes, and it's always going to get filled. So you know, it's always going to get filled by. It not by now. It might not be now. It's going to be later. Let's just say somebody come out with another, you know, another thing that happened inside that locker room. Oh well, you know, Larry the dog was, you know, had a broken leg or so. You know what I'm saying? You know, something that come out of the blue. If more plot holes that come out, it'd be like, oh, that happened too. Dang, that happened too. It's like us as a. I always say this. This what I'm gonna leave it off with athletes, period. It's no matter who you are, what game you play. I always say, like, as long as you ain't no murderer out here, you know, beating up on little kids or raping women or anything like that, as far as anything, like, I don't care. What you do on this basketball court, what you do on this football field, what you do in this ring. I'm like, man, as long as you don't do none of those things I just said, I don't care.
Let me ask you this question.
I don't care if you crack here. I'm not smoking
let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this question though, real quick. What do you think about that whole investigation thing? And now it's been a lot of plot holes in that, and how this investigation thing has been much of a sham and whatnot, and just kind of working.
Hearing, you know, that's what I've been hearing. But here's the thing, I don't know too much details. It's like it's not too many details that came out about this thing. Only the latest details it came out was about the investigation, and some people think it is a sham. And then about Larry the dog, it's like a few weeks before they came out with the investigation. It's a sham thing. I did. Other than that, I don't. It's like it's such a mystery. Only thing that we fully know is the things that we saw in our face, the media scrum, and then we heard about the locker room thing. Other than that, everything is a mystery.
That's exactly my point,
That's
man.
true. Because
You
only
can only go
something,
by what's fact, bro. What you saw
only
with your own two eyes, bro.
true. Cause only some of this stuff was thrown on our face, like the media scrum. Oh hell, even bringing Cole Cabana out that few weeks ago was an obvious shot. Like I think we all knew that also. So like some of this stuff was thrown in our faces. Like not everything. A lot of it is just either rumor or
He said, she
whatever
said.
narrative Dave Meltzer wants to pull and whatnot. But it was only so much detail that we know and whatnot.
And
My
you
whole
know,
thing is
so and you know how it is with Davis on the elite side. Then you got Davis on strictly elite. Then you have Jim that's strictly CL Punk, and you got different commodity. I mean, different type of people was on two different sides. Yeah,
Alvarez.
we're gonna listen to Dave. I mean, we'll listen. I mean, some people will listen to Dave. You get what I'm saying? Some people listen to the experience or the drive through and getting their information up from there. You know what I'm saying? They not getting the source information, the source, the horse's mouth. They ain't getting the information from the horse's mouth itself. It's not. They not.
That's that because we already spent too much time on this talking about it, but
Uh,
that's
Yeah,
consistently been my point the entire time, bro. Everybody is going to push the story, the narrative that they want to tell, and that's going to be the end of it. We're never going to know what really happened. So either you enjoy what's happening in the ring or you don't.
yeah,
That's
because
just why I
like
leave
right
it, bro.
now, like if it's
that's it.
I'll say this like before we end this, like if it ain't shots being thrown or whatever article that's coming out, because some will sit there and say, hey, we've interviewed a lot of people that mostly have talked down on Punk, but we never interviewed the people that actually like Punk within the company and whatnot. My only problem was, which I just kind of kept noticing, was the narrative of just making CM Punk solely the bad guy, and kind of giving the elite the pass. That's why I kept seeing it first. That's why, like what Kyle just said, it's wrong on both sides. I don't like it when it was one-sided. That was my problem. It was starting to look very one-sided to almost everything I was reading at the time. And that's why I kept sitting there at one point saying, like, so was the elite getting a pass or what and all this? Cause I'm like, man, for some guys that, 70 y'all came to kick one man's door down and they getting a pass, that's what was sounding crazy to me when I kept hearing that at first. At least, like, put blame on both sides. Like, they're both wrong in multiple ways, from, like you said, Punk talking on the scrum or the elite making multiple rumors and lies about Punk, like the Colt Cabana thing, which Tony Khan even admitted on the media scrum that one of the Bucks was spreading that rumor about Punk trying to hold down Cabana when it was never true and whatnot. Shit, some people look at Cabana right now saying, like, well, he could have said something a while ago saying, like, hey, me and Punk aren't friends, but hey, this shit's not true. But I don't think he wanted to be involved in that whole thing in general.
Should it?
That
Because
Regardless,
nigga
because him
minded
and
his
Punk don't
business,
fuck with
bro.
each
Leave,
other.
leave
We know
Colt
they don't
alone,
fuck.
bro.
We know they don't fuck with each other. We know they don't.
but Coke ain't got nothing to do with this though. And
That's the
that's
thing. He don't. They made it about him. They made it about him because they kept bringing him up
I
several times.
know. I don't think it should be fair that he has to come out and has to try to defend a situation that they talked about Punk about him. I don't think it's fair because they brought him up in this.
Yeah,
I
that's what I
don't
mean. They
know.
brought him up. Some think he could have said something, but he didn't want anything to do with this to begin with. Okay, it's just they kept throwing his name around there and everything. We all know Punk and Cabana don't fuck with each other. We already know that. It's just like Cabana, like, hey, I'm just gonna stay out of this. I'm just minding my own business and whatnot. It's just, that's why someone kept saying, well, why didn't he say anything? Well, he didn't really have nothing to do with this. They just kept putting his name into this whole mess about, oh, Punk's holding him down and keeping him in Ring of Honor, which, we know that wasn't true and whatnot. But that was just the story that was being thrown around and whatnot until a lot of it was exposed at the media scrum.
So Jade versus Nyla Rose was next.
Yeah, let's move. Okay, yeah, let's move on. We've talked enough about.
We have to move on, man.
That's its own separate video. That we'll come back to that maybe when something other big story comes out that one day. But yeah, Jade Cargil.
Something else. I was
Huh?
to enjoy this match.
Yeah, Jade Cargil, Nyla Rose. For some reason, I don't know why Nyla Rose and Vicky Guerrero came out in the low rider like Eddie. Because I'm like me and Steve was talking last night. That's more of a face thing to be coming out doing an Eddie tribute.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I thought the same thing. Like, hold on, what, are we turning her face or something? What is this? Like, I did not understand that. Like, what was going on?
Because like that's more of a face thing coming out with the low rider and Vicky wearing the I'm your mommy t-shirt and whatnot. That's what it looked more of like. I'm like, man, you got the low rider here. Like I'm just waiting for somebody to say Viva La Raza and whatnot. I'm like, isn't Rose supposed to be the heel? That's what I'm thinking. And Jade. And yeah, like I said, it's been Jade chasing the whole belt around, which you also got to add also Jade's gear, the Thundercats tribute, Chitara.
Thundercats. Yeah,
Thundercats.
that was cool. It looked right on her. It looked right on her.
Listen,
that was cool.
Listen, I ain't trying to get you demonetized, Bryce, so I'm not gonna say nothing. But it was cool.
You still thinking on that? That shit had you sweating, didn't it?
I'm sweating now, bro. Shit.
What? He ain't the only one.
Yeah, it was hard not to look at her throughout the whole match. It was hard. I wouldn't even focus on the match at one point.
Jade. That's all I gotta say.
Listen.
I gotta say. Yeah, Bryce already know. I said it several times about Jade. Oh man.
Damn. But the match, though. Let me try to get back on the match. Honestly, the match was. It was whatever to me. I'm like, as long as Jade won, that was it. But Jade, you can see a lot of botches in this match. I saw a few. Listen, I know Jade hasn't been doing this that long, but she's gotten better, but still a little green.
She not.
Nyla Rose. But I didn't feel it was that good of a match.
You gotta look at it like this, Bryce. This is the thing with Jade. You try to be a person who had their first match with a basketball legend and a future wrestling legend on the other side of the ring with you. And this is one of the biggest matches of that time. Remember the Dynamite at that time, you know what I'm saying? That was one of their biggest matches. They would Dynamite was to draw people in with that Shaq match. And then from there, you have to learn for the ground up. From there, you have to learn from the ground up. Not being trained, then get on TV like most people do. You know what I'm saying? Like most people get how they do. They train in the not performance center, but whatever they call it. And they get better. Then they go on TV to see if they have the chops or not. No, we do whole national TV in this big match.
Day one.
Hey, go. Hey, take the training wheels off. Hey, you good. Go out there. I don't think that's fair. She doing the best she can to me.
Oh yeah, I said Jade's getting better. Like, yeah, we all know that she ain't been here. How long she been on TV now at this point? Over a year or two now at this point. Like, she's gotten better. I'm not saying she was horrible out there.
No, I just said that it's like how people have to look at the situation that had what she was thrown and what situation they threw at her. And it's like I don't think a person who just got into the business should have been thrown into the fire like how Jade was. Hello?
I'm still here. I was just letting y'all cook for
No, what you got to say about it, sir?
Yeah, what's your take? What's your take?
I I didn't think this match was anything special outside of, Jade being fine. Um, although, actually, I'm going to take that back because she fucking deadlifted Nyla for a power bomb, and that popped me. So that shit was crazy.
Impressive.
When she hit Jade. When she hit Jade, have to hold Nyla Rose up like that and come down with Nyla Rose. I was impressed by that. I was like, whoa, okay. Even though I know she got a little help, but you gotta hold Nyla Rose up for that move and then come down.
Yeah, Jade,
So,
she works best with depending on who she's across the ring with. Like her and Red Velvet had actually some really good matches. Her and Anna Jay, that first match for couldn't believe it was actually really good too. So it's like it just depends on who she's standing across the ring from. My really biggest problem with this match was this story was just so stupid, man. Like
yeah.
Nyla steals her belt and she can't get it, even though they're in the same place every week, she can't get her belt back. Even one week, Nyla Rose is issuing an open challenge and Jade isn't the one who answers it. Like this was stupid. And I don't mean bad, I mean stupid.
Right, and then they had the match with Nyla Rose and Anna Jay, and nobody interferes. Like nobody, like Jade, the person who is the champion, she would not interfere and break up this match.
Kiera wouldn't run in and answer the open challenge. Like
Layla Gray.
It's stories like this, man, that when people who hate women's wrestling be like, well, there you go. Tony Khan finally gave you a women's story. And y'all, it's like, no, bro, this is stupid.
It was dumb. It was dumb. It's a fucking chase scene. It's a Benny Hill chase scene. Like, I stole the belt. I'm going to run around with it, but it's going to take me almost like a month just to even get it back. It's just one long chase scene. Like
a 5-minute bit in the comedy became like 5 weeks of television. Like, what are we doing here, man? Like,
and it wasn't funny.
No,
it wasn't
funny at all.
Dumb.
I would hear these YouTubers out here that they were praising this storyline, how funny it is, and how Nyla Rose is funny, and I'm like, I'm sorry for not having the same sense of humor.
Nyla Rose is actually funny on Twitter, but
what
this shit was stupid.
I've heard about that.
I heard that Nyla Rose funny on Twitter, but I just wasn't. This just wasn't like, what was this? Like Bryce said, are we Benny Hill out here, man?
Right, Benny Hill, bro. Stupid, man.
That's all it looked like. So this was whatever. I just hope they move Jade on into something else. I was like, Jade wins, feud over, move on to the next thing. The only thing I say, we didn't get Straw Hat, Shafir out there saying you don't know me.
Yeah, I like Jade and I like Nyla Rose. Nyla needs to be away from Vicky and all that Straw Hat bullshit, and we just need to let her cook on her own. And that's that, bro. Jade won. That's all that matters.
That's true. Definitely true. Next, Fatal 4-Way for the Ring of Honor Championship. Chris Jericho, Bryan Danielson, Claudio Castagnoli, and Sammy Guevara. Speaking of stories that don't make sense all the way here also. I like this match. Hell, it was one of my favorite matches of the night. This was really good.
It was probably the best.
Damn near. It didn't make no sense that Sammy was in this match because I sat there like, why is he in this match? What happened to Daniel Garcia? Wasn't he part of the whole story? Like, what happened to that? Cause I don't even know why. Like Claudio, well, yeah, he was supposed to get his rematch. I thought this was all about Jericho and Danielson mostly, but it's like we're gonna make it a Fatal 4-Way and just add someone that's not even supposed to be involved in this match. He's in the match. It was a great match. Don't get me wrong, but you look at the whole story. It's like I just feel like Bryan Danielson should be doing something better than this. Like I loved it when Danielson first came into the company. He was a heel and just whipping everybody's ass. Now it's like I question where they're going with his booking right now. Jericho, Jericho's Jericho, so he can just damn to do whatever he wants. Claudio, I like Claudio, but let's be honest, when they put the title on him, did it really change anything? And Sammy is his own entity to why the fans don't even like him right now for multiple kind of reasons.
Yeah, remember earlier when I said Tony is a perpetual bag fumbler and that we were going to revisit this 3 more times in this night? I'm going to say it twice here. Hey, remember when the Blackpool Combat Club was like the hottest thing in wrestling?
Yeah.
I'll do you one better. Hey, remember when Daniel Garcia's story was like one of the hottest things in wrestling? And he's not even in this match at Sammy Guevara? Like, what the hell are we doing, Tony? Like,
no sense. It make any sense.
I gotta give Sammy some credit. I'll give Sammy one thing, man. This guy gets away with a lot of shit in this company. I'll give him that. Tony loves that guy.
Well, all right, but okay, again, when not being there is easy to just formulate an opinion based on what people are saying, but it could be very true that Sammy just be minding his own business and people just keep messing with him. Like,
right, we could be very much true. Yeah. That's what that when it comes down to stuff like that, it's like only thing I got to say about that is Tony, tighten up your locker room. Because it shouldn't be things that constantly coming out of the locker room, no matter what side you on. Like I said before, but it shouldn't be things that always coming out the locker room. People should be constantly reporting things, bro. Like tighten up the locker room. Put discipline some of these guys, man, for real. Because you can't keep on having that. Let's make everything bad, even if no matter, like I said, no matter whose side you on Sammy, Andrade, the Elite, CM Punk, but it shouldn't be these things happening in your locker room. It shouldn't. That's all I have to say on that part, because it shouldn't. Tony is. I just gonna have to flat out say it. He's not good at his job. Just really not.
He's not a leader.
That's what that need. That's what they need. It's a leader. It's somebody in the locker room but telling them, hey, man, none of this, hey, don't go on Twitter popping off at the mouth, all right? All right, cool. You, calm down. You ain't got to come at him. You ain't got to be mad at him because what he said on Twitter. Calm that down. You ain't have to go over there and hit that man for what? Because he said, come and hit me? If I told you to jump off the roof, you do it? Like, come on, man.
He's a money mark. We gotta remember he's a money mark.
Like that's another story. It was 2 sides of the story, and you could have said both of them was wrong, because Andrade didn't have to come and punch the man in the mouth because he said, "Come punch me in the mouth. Come do something about it." He had to do anything about it. He did it. Like, man, we can't be on both. We can't be on one side like that, man. Like, man, we gotta look at it both ways. Like, man, that was dumb.
Yeah, people have just decided they hate Sammy. So whenever some kind of story comes out like that, they're just ready to just hop on that, man.
It's jealousy. I think it's jealousy. If you ask me, I don't know.
There could be something to that, man, because it really happened as soon as the Ty Conti stuff came out, right? That's right when it started.
That's what I was gonna say.
Because you could say one hand that you probably mad at his decision, not mad at him, but kind of disappointed at him and his decision. Right. You know what he did to old girl. But here's the thing, though. They moved on for that situation. Look, I don't know, Shorty. She probably moved on. She probably hurt. I don't know. But he was wrong on that situation. But here's the thing, though. That's not our lives.
Facts.
Not. I'm sorry. Infidelity and cheating happen all the time. Not to like it, you'll have to. It's not good and it's not right. But at the same time, we just can't be taking all these people's lives, bro.
It's unhealthy and it's weird.
It is.
Yeah, you will be
fine. Worry about your own.
Like, you're not going to tell me this dude, Sammy Guevara, did a freaking top rope, spun in the air, double cutter to
That was
Cesaro or to Claudio and Bryan Danielson, and I'm not about to act like that was the craziest thing I've seen, bro. Like, y'all need to relax.
And the fans was chanting, "You still suck." The fans kept chanting, "You still suck. You still suck."
Like, this man doing standing Spanish flies and 450s, and these people are just like, yeah, well, Pam and Ty Conti and Andrade, so we don't like you. And I'm like, bro, what? I don't give a damn, bro. I do not care, bro. I do not care.
On one hand, this is another thing. On one hand, this lead it up to with the Ty Conti situation. I think some people use his ex fiance as an excuse to say they hate him, because I just think they just look at that situation like you got one of the baddest chicks around, basically, and we gonna say, oh, we don't like you because what you did to your girl, your ex fiance. Like, I don't think that's the reason why you don't like him, but we just to each his own. You probably don't like him because of that, but I don't think so. I think it's another reason. Yeah, I think you just used that as an excuse.
Now, what I will say is it was ill-advised for them to try to push them together on TV as a babyface couple.
Ooh,
That
yeah,
was a bad idea.
That was bad. That was like, I don't know what they were thinking with that.
But that doesn't excuse like this simmering hatred for Sammy Guevara, like where people are apathetic to what he's doing in the ring. Like that I don't think that's related at all. Like that babyface stuff was bad. That Scorpio Sky feud was bad. But let's not act like this nigga now out here putting bangers out. Like,
yeah, because I enjoyed this Fatal 4-Way. I thought it was great. It was really good. Because at first I actually thought Sammy was taking the pin, but Claudio ended up taking the pin. After like 2 Judas effects.
yeah, because he pinned Jericho on TV, so that was the get back.
Yeah, because he did. Yeah, if he tapped him out. He tapped him out.
Yeah, you got
right.
That Jericho go retain. I ain't think, like I said, what I thought was that I ain't think Claudio was gonna take the pin, cause I see this nigga, I see him beat Daniel Bryan like 5 times. I mean, not 5, 4 different times, right? 4 different times. I thought, hey, you might as well just pin him then. Y'all could still have a match with Claudio and Jericho 1-on-1. You ain't have to pay Claudio. Y'all could still, have that match. But I ain't see him taking the pin.
Yeah, I said that work rate wise, this was probably the best match of the night, but I just don't care about any of this Ring of Honor stuff, like at all.
They have over pushed ROH.
And I don't care about JAS versus Blackpool Combat Club anymore. They've been feuding for like 6 months or whatever it's been. Like I don't care about any of this.
Too much. They have been going on too long, man. For real. Like, how long we gonna keep on going with this?
It's like it's no end in sight, and ROH is being pushed. Like, they are doing their best to push as much ROH than they can on this show. So like they've been like heavily.
I already saw one, and I really don't count Joe, because here's the thing: he was going for the TNT title. They ain't even mentioned nothing about his Ring of Honor TV title, really. And he ain't really been defended that title. It ain't even been no thing about his TV title. I only been saying as the world title.
True.
I said the world title on TV, and I just think it's only being pushed because it's on Jericho.
That's why they put it on Jericho's
name. Yeah, because Jericho's name and people will pay attention to him. We talked about this with Claudio before. Like, hey, we put the belt on Claudio, but did anybody really pay that much attention after he won the belt? Because
is so crazy, man.
Because I think me and other people talked about this before. God, we talked about this too. Like, is he really that world championship material? Because like now we're starting to see like, well, maybe there's a reason why he won the world champion in WWE and whatnot.
Like Ring of Honor, yeah. Like, if you could make Ring of Honor back when when it was when it was on top, not on top, but you get what I'm saying, on top of their game. when Ring of Honor was on top of their game, you could have made somebody like a Claudio a world champion because it's like when Ring of Honor they didn't really lean more into sports entertainment as much as the main North America's main promotion does. All of them do. Even AEW do. You know what I'm saying? All these main promotions inside of North America, especially the United States, they lean more towards sports entertainment. They can say, "Oh man, we wrestlers over here, yeah, whatever." When you do angles that entertainment value, like a horror angle or a funny angle or a love angle, guess what? That's entertainment. You know what I'm saying? So that leans more towards sports entertainment. So I feel sorry for somebody like Claudio. You know, because he's a very good wrestler, a great wrestler, but it's just it. Like I said the other, remember we were talking right there. It.
Not
You
it.
know, you know who I feel bad for? Because a lot of people got exposed for their takes when Jericho won the world title. Rewind back when Jonathan Gresham was world champion, and people were going crazy, frothing at the mouth, saying, "Well, Claudio has to beat him because he's the big star, and we're going to have him hold the flag for Ring of Honor to get TV deals and all this and that." And then what happened? He held the belt for like what, 2 months maybe, and then Jericho beat him for it. It's like, okay, so now Jericho's supposed to be that guy, right? He's supposed to be the star that is going to get people to pay attention to Ring of Honor and yada yada, all that bullshit y'all said that on why Gresham couldn't do it, right?
You would get more.
So
Yeah.
if the idea was, well, we're
More.
going to give the belt to Jericho to do that same thing, why couldn't Jericho have beaten Gresham for it and not Claudio? Because that's what everybody kept saying, right? Like,
Yeah.
Claudio has to beat Gresham because he's the bigger star. Like, okay, but what did he do with the belt? How many more eyes? What TV deal did y'all get because y'all beat Gresham? What happened?
I don't think, but see, I don't think it's. I don't think they did it for that reason though. Everybody else probably thinking that for that reason though, and that would be a asinine reason to be honest with you because he. I don't see Claudio grabbing. I don't see Claudio being that person to grab a TV deal for you. I really don't. And so I think they gave him that title because the fans was like, "Oh my God, the WWE did him so wrong. He didn't get no world title. He always would lose it all the time in the WWE. So Tony Khan, he got his ear to the streets. He got his ear to the
He got his
streets.
ear to the street.
To the streets. The streets.
He like, hold on, I hear y'all. I'm gonna put the world title on Claudio. Oh, you gonna put the AEW world title on him? Nah. That's not getting that carried away now. I'm gonna put the world ROH title on him. And so everybody knows damn well to themselves so that it's not on no comparable level to the AEW world title because it's a dead company. So we even me, I don't even lie, I was a part of it. I psyched myself out. I'm like, oh well, it's a world title, right? But it's really not. You know what I'm saying? That thing is on that thing could be on the same level as the All Atlantic Championship or the TNT Championship at this point. Because because of the no TV deal, that title don't mean a damn thing. It really don't. And so they wanted to put the title on that man because, oh man, see, we made him a world champion over here. WWE did it. I think that's what I really think it was.
Either way, they did Gresham dirty, bro.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They knew, Tony knew who he wanted as the champion. He wanted that belt off of him. Come on, it was like at the beginning of the show, like, and it was like what 8 minutes that match was, and they just had Claudio go over flat, and that was it. And they was like they didn't want Gresham, okay? Like they was just calculating. We knew this months ago way back in April during like Mania weekend, the Super Card of Honor, we saw who Tony wanted the belts on, all the ROH belts. They took it off most of those, whoever was Ring of Honor at the time. They took it off those guys immediately and they put it on all the AEW guys. Like Gresham still had it, but it was like a matter of time type of thing. And, you know, they just like beat him. It was gone. And we ain't seen Gresham since because shit, Gresham had problems with Tony Khan then after that. He didn't like what went down. So I thought he got done dirty. And I like Gresham and everything, but, you know, some kind of wonder, was he going to bring you a TV deal also at the same time? Like, I've talked with this with many people. Like, Gresham, great technical wrestler, jacked to the fucking gills. But it's like, what was somebody, I think me and Kyle talked about, it's like the Dean Malenko type of thing. Like, great wrestler, but what, has the personality of a sheet of paper, and of course the height thing was going to go against him.
That's so crazy, bro. People will say shit like that, but they gave it to Claudio. That's why I'm like, bro, bad faith takes, bro.
There we go. See, say it again, bro. Because that man is, you gonna call Gresham a one piece of paper. That man is.
That's two guys. We gave it to another guy with that much personality. So then we gave it to two people with that much personality.
And so you did right. Don't get me wrong. You did right by putting it on Jericho. Okay? Because Jericho have a name that could go back 30 years. You know what I'm saying? It could go back 30 years. My people know him. Y'all people know him. Ain't no ifs or buts about it.
Everybody gonna know who Chris Jericho is, but they know who Claudio is.
But I think they did right. But here's the thing, man. I want both of y'all. Y'all just can't keep force feeding us Ring of Honor. Y'all can't keep doing that. Y'all just have these people off AEW or take Darker Elevation, whatever you want, whichever show you want. Take them off and put a Ring of Honor show on there.
ROH Rampage.
Because at this point, the deal looking like it ain't coming anytime soon.
Yeah,
soon enough. That's for sure.
It ain't looking like it ain't coming. It ain't coming in. So you might as well just make a YouTube show.
And they got a pay-per-view next month. They got a pay-per-view in the middle of the day, in the afternoon in December, because they got to get out before some college basketball game or something happens. So that's the next Ring of Honor show
basketball as an excuse? No, they not.
And they competing with NXT. I'm not using it as an excuse, but I'm just telling you what's going down with that.
No. I hope they not using it. Oh, we're not going to go that time slot because of college basketball. Get out of here.
Or you don't want to compete with NXT because they supposed to be doing it the same day also.
Yeah, of course you don't want to do that because, like I said, essentially a dead company. It cannot go. It's not going to compete with NXT. I'm sorry, that's not going to happen.
And I'll say this too. You know, you talk about Jericho's. You know, we thinking who the next challenger is going to be. You know, they talk to him later in the night, and I guess it's going to be Tomohiro Ishii this Wednesday, who is not a former Ring of Honor World Champion. I don't know why they was saying that. I'm like, I don't think he was ever Ring of Honor World Champion.
They didn't say that. No, they said former Ring of Honor Champion. You got to listen to the wording. They didn't put world in there. They didn't put that world in there at all. They said former Ring of Honor Champion. Like he held one of their championships before.
I guess the TV title or something.
Yeah, but they didn't put world. They didn't put world champion. Because I thought something was wrong too what they said about Colt Cabana. I was like, hold on, what did they say? I thought he was going against world champion. Nah, they was like, no, he want to go against any Ring of Honor champion.
Yeah, this 4-way, man. Like I said, it was worked well, actually very, very well. But I don't care about the Ring of Honor stuff. This feud, I don't care about. And they spent months building up Daniel Garcia to just replace him with Sammy Guevara. So fuck it.
Yeah. And Bryan Danielson should be doing something way bigger than this.
Agreed.
Here's the thing. So, you could have took the world championship out of it, and it still would have been a good match.
True.
to the 4 people that was in it. The 4
Yeah, if they
people,
didn't do the tag team match like 4 times already, they could have just did that. Claudio and Danielson versus Jericho and Sammy. Like,
That's true.
I thought that match. I thought, right, I was looking at Dynamite 2. I look at it, I'm like, man, hold on, Kyle, did you see this match? Oh, I was talking to myself, like, man, hold on. I know did I see this match? I saw some type of variation of this match. I don't think I saw this tag team match before. And like you just said, oh yeah, I did see it about 3 or 4 times already.
and that's not including all the singles matches, that Anarchy in the Arena, and everything else they were doing before that. So, like,
I've seen hella tag matches. So like, it's not the first time we've seen it. We've seen it, like, we saw it the other day. We saw it probably like a couple weeks ago. We saw it even beforehand. So they've done it like 3, 4 different times already. So they could
and
have
I
done
thought
that.
this dude, Daniel Garcia, was hurt or something, and that's why they took him out. This nigga wrestling it on dark, bro. Like, what we doing, man? Tony's
He's
just
on
making,
dark.
he's just making shit up as it goes,
Yeah, he
bro.
on dark.
Oh
Like,
my god! I didn't know he was on dark. Oh god! They just pulled him out for no reason, I guess.
Again, with Tony Khan, I just look at him like you not very good at this job, and you should let your pride go and hire somebody who good at this job.
well, he's
Like
got Jeff Jarrett there now, so maybe, you
you maybe, yeah, maybe if he'll come up with those reverse battle royals and bullshit like that, you know,
King of the Mountain.
outfits and shit like that. As long as he
Don't worry, Shawn Michaels is already using that King of the Mountain idea right now, so I don't think he wants to do that again.
that shit more convoluted than King of the Mountain.
King of the Mountain, I know. But yeah, I hope that Jeff can. I hope he will listen to Jeff. You know what I'm saying? I hope he would. If Jeff would give him some ideas, I hope he would at least take them in consideration. You know, at least because this is a horrible, horrible booking.
Makes no sense.
You had somebody who was white hot. He would get it along. He was coming along. The fans were coming along with him and everything. Then, first off, what you want to know what dumb was when he turned when he went back to the JAS. That was
Yep.
the stupidest mistake you had. Well, why? Why he turn back? Why he go back?
Great
Why?
question.
Because
Good
in his heart, he's a sports entertainer in his heart. That's what excuse y'all gonna give me. That's what excuse y'all gonna give me, huh? In his heart, he is a sports entertainer. So he turned back to the to y'all side. Come on, man.
It makes even less sense because they didn't use him doing that to fuel this match. They put Sammy in the match. What?
Yeah.
What was the point then?
What was
Right, because that would have been a great. That would have been a great little situation. Whose side is Daniel Garcia is on? Is he on Chris Jericho's side? Is he on Daniel Bryan's side? Let's see. You know, and we could have did that match, a triple threat match, and didn't have to have Claudio in it.
They even did the spot where Sammy decided to start fighting Jericho, and I was just sitting there like, bro, this should be Daniel Garcia. Like,
Garcia.
and I'm not even saying that to like shit on Sammy. I think he made this match even better than it was. But it's just like storytelling wise, it made no sense for him to be there.
makes no sense. So they it just doesn't. I don't understand it. Like why? Just why? So
This nigga just lost twice to Bryan Danielson. Let's give him a world title match. Like what are you doing here, bro?
what? Yeah, like hey, you lose, but we're still gonna give you a title shot anyway. Like what the fuck? Why? I don't get it. Like he lost,
Stupid, man.
so I don't know. But let's move on to the next big thing of this show. I'm sure everybody's been talking about Saraya versus Britt Baker.
Yeah,
Oh,
cool.
good match. Paige's big return.
It hit the heart. I ain't gonna lie to you. It was like, man, Paige for a long time before all the other women started coming along in the WWE. And so Paige and AJ Lee was always one of my favorite feuds and always one of my favorite matches for the women's side when they used to go against each other.
Yep.
Paige was always one of those girls that I was like, man, finally it's back. Finally, we got women wrestling back again. That's actually good.
Facts on
Man,
facts.
I saw Paige. Once you saw Paige, it was like all we gotta do is build around her.
The tide was changing, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, all we gotta do is build around her. We got it. And no injury kept cut her career short. And that's all it was. So this was kind of like, to me, I was smiling from ear to ear. I'm not gonna lie. Saw that girl, I was like, man, my goodness, she back.
Yes.
That's all
Take
I
over
was.
for a second. I get the door. Take over for a second.
Yeah, I completely agree with everything you like. Literally everything you just said is exactly how I felt about it, man. Because when I wanted women's wrestling at that point in my life, I just went to TNA because WWE they weren't doing it until Paige had that match with Emma, and I was like, oh, okay, so we got it over here now. That's what we're doing. And ever since then, I've been a huge Paige fan. So when all this came together, that she was coming back and she was going to wrestle on this card against Britt, I was like, yeah, oh, it's lit. I'm all in for it. I will say this though, my only minor gripe about this, when I was talking to Bryce about it, I don't like the optics of it. Like the
Well,
huge WWE star just comes over and just beats the biggest star in the AEW women's division on her first try. Like I felt like, I mean, yeah, this match pretty much was just designed to get Saraya the big feel good moment, but I
right.
feel like at least I don't know, Britt should have been like final boss. You feel me? Like she beat the biggest boss immediately. So it's kind of like, well, where do we even go now? Because she already done beat the biggest fish in the pond, and it's like the optics of that, I ain't really, and I'm not even a Brit fan, but just the optics of it for what Brit represents for this division. I said it to Bryce. It's like in Gail Kim's peak in TNA, if they just had Trish Stratus come over in her first match and just beat her, it's
Yeah.
just like
I
the
do
the
remember. Yeah, you
optics of
did
that.
say that.
I just don't the way that looks. I'm not really a fan of that, but otherwise, yeah, it was great that she got this moment. It was cool that she's back. Let's start cooking, man. I'm
Yeah,
ready
because
for it.
I will say I thought it was a really good match. It was good to see her return to the ring after 5 years. I know they had took that bump, right.
Oh, did we lose
Shit,
him?
like it's like, oh shit, is she okay? Because we all knew it was selling the thing. Because let's be honest, a lot of people didn't really sell throughout the night in general. But she did that kip up and everything, and the crowd went crazy for it. So it was a good match. But like you said, Stephen made a point. It's like, do we put the former WWE person over the person that's been there since day one? Because hell, we have been looking at the promos lately for the few weeks. Like Baker was coming off more as a face and look like. And
Mhm.
we talked about it from the other night and like a couple weeks ago. And remember where the whole Baker was like, "Hey, you got to make an appointment." The lines here, bitch, and then Paige just went on like, "Well, I got hit by a car, and I did this, and I did that, and I did this, and I started divisions and whatnot." Which I'm not saying she didn't make enough points, but it wasn't the best comeback line from this. And like you just said, Paige just went over clean, like clean as a whistle, which I kind of expected that in a way, but I do get Steven's point on a lot of parts of it, just from the promos even to the match itself.
And here's the thing, though. You would want Britt. I mean, you would want to use Britt as a final boss if the matches if the matches look like you know a final boss match. You get what I'm saying about that? It, it ain't like let's just use another final boss guy, Brock Lesnar. You know what I'm saying? When we get to that final boss match, it be entertaining. Like, oh my god, man, this is match is whoa. All that crazy stuff going on, and it feels like a final boss match. But when it's Britt Baker, on the other hand, all her promos make the match feel that way. But once we get to that match, it's like yesterday, it was okay. It was good. It was good. I'm not gonna poo poo on it. You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing: it's just it had a lot of moments that Britt Baker always have. Slow and okay. She got to play to the crowd. Yeah, I'm the bitch. Ooh, okay. Let's go back. Let's get back to the match. It's like a lot of Britt Baker matches. It's a lot of sick in it. You get what I'm saying? It's a lot of old school heel sick in it, which is cool when you gotta have somebody like her who really not like amazing or that that good in the ring like that. You need a lot of old school heel sick, but I felt like this with Paige. Using Britt as a final boss, you needed people to go against. Jamie was already in the match already. We already put her in a world title match, so you could go through her. Reba, what's that girl name again, man?
Rebel.
Rebel. Okay, my bad. I call that girl Reba. Well, my bad. But yeah, Rebel was not a wrestler. Like she not good at all. So you really didn't want to have Saraya match a match with her and Rebel at all. You know, so to go through her crew until she gets to Britt Baker down, that was impossible. So how you were gonna go about use today?
I'll fish you an idea right now. Because remember when I'll give you an idea right now. Because remember after Saraya first she came in and did her Stephanie McMahon promo with all the women standing in a row. She didn't really do shit after that for like a couple of weeks, right? So what you could have done was have the promo they did, was it last week, where she said she was cleared. You could have done that earlier. And so Britt's like, well, you don't even deserve to fight me. So here's Rebel, right? And so you still have that question in your mind of, well, Paige's or Saraya is cleared, but is she going to be bumping? So she has the match with Rebel and she just kills Rebel. Rebel don't even touch her. And then it's like, oh, well, yeah, she had a technical match, quote unquote, but she didn't take no bumps or anything. So we don't really know. And so now fast forward, now we get the Britt Baker match and it's like, oh, she really out here doing this. And so when she beats Britt after, that tease, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, she earned this fight more than she just showed up and beat their biggest star. Like, and like I said, like all your criticisms of Britt are exactly how I feel about Britt. So I'm not even saying this as we love Britt over here. We don't.
I ain't getting that at all. No, bro.
I'm just going strictly by how it looks,
I always hesitate when it comes down to, speaking about Britt, because it's like Britt got a strong follower. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
she one of those. Yeah.
It's like I have to prove my point, even if I do say things like that. I have to prove my point about about Britt not being a good wrestler every day. Now, I ain't saying not being a good wrestler, but not being as good as as people
make her out to be.
True.
Yeah, there we go. And that's how I feel about her. Like a lot of matches are hyped up because she is so good on the mic. You know what I'm saying?
It's called the Alexa Bliss factor.
Yeah, Alexa Bliss factor. That was beautiful, man. That was a great comparison. A great comparison. Yeah, it's an Alexa Bliss factor. Alexa will talk you into the arena, but once you see her match, it's like, okay, you okay. I ain't saying you bad or anything.
But you're not shit at the same time.
At the same time, right? You know what I'm saying? But that goes back to what we were talking about at our last review, though, Steven.
Right, don't get me started, bro.
Right, remember in our last review, let's go back to that. Because Britt falls in that category, too.
Say, don't get me started, bro.
You know what I'm saying? She falls in that category, too. Right? And we remember that. So, yeah, she got a lot of factors going with her. Everybody was like they could have get more ready. My bad for stuttering, but they couldn't get more ready to jump on the bandwagon once she saw her getting the bandwagon rolling. You get what I'm saying? Once she started getting it rolling, that's when everybody was like, "Oh my God, Britt Baker, ooh, all that stuff," and I'm looking like, "Okay, I mean, man, we ain't seen a girl that was good on the mic before, so like we over here acting crazy over mediocre work now. Hey, I guess that's what we doing."
Yeah. Hey, Tony likes Baker a lot. There's a reason why she's been on the top for so long.
I know.
She was the first woman he signed, bro, and that was before she was even Britt Baker. Like
Britt Baker, right there we go.
You were just a dentist. She was the dentist.
Right, she was just a dentist. She was just Adam Cole's girlfriend. That was it.
But yeah, it didn't help. Like I mainly really feel about this match the way I feel because we know what Britt has been to this division, and then for Saraya to just come out and be like, "Well, you don't know what it takes to be a star," and it's like, yeah, but she is the star in the women's division. So
You've been the champion.
and then for Saraya to come out and just beat her, it's just kind of like, all right, well, she said she ain't shit, and then she beat her clean, straight up. Like
she said she wasn't a star, so she made sure she made her point.
Yeah, so that's why I was like, maybe I don't know, maybe turn Saraya heel or something to beat her, something that isn't just she just comes in and beats Britt straight up, you know. So that that's my feelings on it.
Yeah,
Yep.
I feel the same way. Nah, I feel the same way, bro. It's like, all right. Here's the thing that you knew this was gonna happen, so it's like, yeah, But like you said, it could have been more. You could have got more life out of this. Real talk, you could have got more life out of this.
And I don't know if this was, because I'm trying to figure out when the crowd was starting to, come down a little, because it was a different time when we saw the crowd come up and down. I don't think it was that, down and whatnot here, but
No. They were too up for this, man, because it's the first match in 5 years. So
yeah,
they was
up for this. You heard them chant, "Welcome back, welcome back," and
back.
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It was probably the next match because they got quiet a lot for that triple threat.
Yeah, because let's definitely move on to that one, the triple threat match. Wardlow, Samoa Joe, and Powerhouse Hobbs.
Well, I went in too fast. I'm sorry, but it just sucks.
But yeah, Hobbs, Joe, Wardlow for the TNT Championship. Wow.
Okay,
Didn't expect Joe to take this here, double champ and whatnot. Wardlow. I'm trying to look at his run as TNT champion.
Don't count that other championship.
No, okay, exactly. Here we go.
We're not gonna count the ROH TV title.
I'm gonna say this again, and this is I was gonna say it 4 times. Here's the 4th time for Tony Perpetual Bag Fumbler. Remember when Wardlow was like the hottest thing on AEW, bro?
What happened?
I know you were gonna do it. I know you were gonna do that, bro.
It stopped after he went against MJF.
Bad booking, bro. Bad booking. That's what happened. That's exactly what happened. Bad booking. That's horrible booking. The man, the first thing. Do y'all remember the first thing that he did?
Oh yeah, he went against the lawyer. He went against the lawyer.
Bro.
25 security guards
for weeks, bro.
Weeks.
Come on now.
Right after MJF.
He thought that was gonna get him over. That's why he did that. He thought that was gonna get the man over.
Oh, here's another thing. Remember when he didn't want to go for
against?
Hold on.
He want to go for the championship. He want to go for the championship.
That's what I'm about to say. He didn't want to go for the world title. Remember that? He didn't want to go for the world title.
It made him sound honorable though. And then
he said, "I want to wait till Punk gets back to beat him fair and square." When if he became interim champion, that's exactly what he could have done. Like, stupid, man.
Moxley.
Beautiful point. He could have just still did that. Became the champion.
Hello,
Kyle.
Bueller.
Probably his connection. I think he's still there. Yo, Kyle. I'm gonna text him.
Yeah, but yeah, man.
Yeah, all right.
It,
Until he comes back, what are you gonna say until I get him back?
I pretty much already said it, man. The perpetual bag fumbler Tony Khan, man. That's 4 times this year. He got something super over, and then he just fucked it off, bro. Just he either forgot about it, he didn't know how to handle it. 4 times I can count that something in AEW was massively over, and he just threw it away, man. Like after the MJF thing, man, like you said, the first thing they do is have this whole storyline with. Oh, welcome back, bro.
There you are. What happened? Like you just clocked out there for a second.
Hello?
Yeah, we hear you.
Oh, all right, cool. My bad.
That's like you hear us.
I don't know what happened.
Nah, you straight. You straight. I don't know what happened either. Like you just kind of clocked out there for a second, but you straight. Hello? I think he's still trying to fix the thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm back. It's just I didn't know what happened.
Yeah, I was yeah, you just kind of went out for a minute, so
yeah, completely. But I'm sorry about that, y'all.
Yeah, you good. You good.
So I'm surprised anything happened to me, bro. I've been waiting, honestly.
Yeah, but hey, connection's good today. But like you're saying though, like Warlow was like one of the most over things at one point, but then it just went down. It just kept going down. Whether it be the feuds he's in, or he got the TNT title, but
he had no feuds.
It was no.
He had no feuds, right?
Just going
That's exactly what it was. He was right. It was like the random monster of the week. Who would Warlow go against this week? He's like, come on now, man. Put this man in a feud. Like,
hey, remember it all out? Remember it all out? They just had him tag with FTR just to go against Jay Lethal and the Motor City Machine Guns.
Who?
They still around?
FTR. Oh, we'll get to them. I got some things to say about them later on.
FTR. I don't think I know who that is, bro.
Yeah, man. I heard about those guys. They got 3 different sets of tag titles, but we never see them.
Except for the main title they should be holding, but let's not talk about that.
Yeah.
Shoot, matter of fact, since you brought it up, that's 5, bro. Remember when the Briscoes and FTR had that match, and that's all anybody was talking about, bro?
Hey, remember when they won the IWGP Tag Team titles at the Forbidden Door? Remember that in Chicago?
Like, what?
I was there.
Perpetual bag fumbler, bro. Like, I can't put it no more plainly.
And the fans, every time we do see them on TV or they do come out, the fans will let Tony know, hey, you are a bag fumbler, because we gonna scream on our top of our lungs for these guys. Every time we hear that music, we go scream, and that's how they are. Every time FTR come out, I don't know what's wrong with Tony Khan.
Just like me.
Every time.
Yeah.
Can we add that then? Because Miro could be somebody who could have got you a bag. Real talk, like Miro he is still that type of guy that can get you there. And with the right type of booking around Miro. Because
Miro, the most over person in that match at Forbidden Door.
What happened? What happened? It's like I said, like
what you mean? What happened? We were just talking about it. He a bag fumbler.
Yeah, bag fumbler. And Hobbs, and listen, I like Hobbs and everything, but I figured he was gonna be taking the fall one way or another. Like, what was it, like midway powerbomb symphony, and then Joe just comes in and chokes the hell out of him, and that's kind of it.
Oh yeah, let's talk about it, because I mean Kyle jumped the gun there. But yeah, we here now. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, come on, man. He barely even had a hold on him for a second. He didn't choke the man out. He barely had a hold on him for a second. The referee went over there, touched his arm slightly, and said, "Hey, read the bill. What is this? A Montreal screw job? What is this?" Like he didn't look like he was out at all. I know that's what they were going for, but you totally missed the mark with that one.
They didn't even give Wardlow a chance to break it up or nothing. Like
nothing. Nothing. Like
and then you just see Wardlow look surprised after the match, and him and Hobbs are just looking at each other like,
looking at each other.
Like what? Like what happened? Like what happened? And I'm like,
this what better not happen though. They better not be no tag team come to Dynamite on Wednesday. They better
Hobbs
not
and
be.
Wardlow?
Yeah, they better not be.
I thought that was the way they were looking at each other.
That's what I said. Like, it better not happen that way though, because come on now, man. Both of those guys should be on a single run, a very good single run. Both of them, but nah. Warlow. I mean, no. Powerhouse took too many L's already. He took a lot of L's in the early part of AEW.
Oh yeah,
real talk.
But see, they righted the ship. They brought him back, man. After after that Ricky Starks feud, my man's been going on a tear, bro. I for real thought he was gonna win. So when he got choked out, I was like, oh, okay.
I'm like, what?
Okay,
yeah.
Like, so that's what happens. That's what we do. That's what we doing. Okay, and that's exactly how I looked at my phone. I'm looking like, you gotta be kidding me. This how do you end this match?
At the very least, I thought he was going to be the first one to kick out of the Powerbomb Symphony, but like, nah, he just got choked out. Like, okay.
Like, midway killed, and Joe finishes the job, and like, so yeah, we gotta make Joe a double champion. We gotta get Joe to be a double champion right now.
Which, by all means, Samoa Joe is like top 4, one of my favorite wrestlers ever. So I'm not mad that Joe won, but if you're going to tell me that you didn't even want to book Wardlow as TNT champion, what am I feeling about what you're going to do with Samoa Joe, bro? Like, are we going to be seeing Samoa Joe doing open challenges and shit every week? I don't think we are, bro.
No, I don't think
no. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. The TNT championship, like that's been one championship that never had a feud, really. Did
Not
it?
since Cody.
Am I wrong? Yeah, not since Cody Brody Lee. All right, cool. I wish you on that one.
Good
point. As Cody left,
everybody else had
that shit.
They just pick a name out of the random name out of a hat. Like, who gonna be today? Lee Moriarty. Okay. Who else gonna be today?
Hey, Matt Taven. Hey, Matt Taven.
Right, Matt Taven. Yeah. Who else is back there? We got Mike Taylor. Hey, what about Benny? Come back over here, Mike Benny. You want a title shot too? Like, come on.
QT Marshall.
Like, QT Marshall, right? Where's Solo at? I ain't seen him in about so long. Man, let's bring him in for a title match.
Bro, as soon as Cody left, bro. As soon as Cody lost that match to Sammy and left for WWE, the TNT title has been in the shits, bro.
Scorpio didn't even have that really good of feuds also.
All he did was feud with Sammy. Then he lost to Wardlow.
And he had Dan Lambert with him.
Oh my gosh. This year has been terrible for AEW. Dog shit, bro.
From the booking, for the in-ring, for the bookings, for the backstage, it just haven't been a good year for AEW. It really haven't.
Don't get me started on the ticket sales right now.
Like, bro, let me get this video game so I can make my own AEW, bro. Like, fuck what y'all doing, bro.
Too many things bad right now. Shit, the ticket sales ain't even good. Trust me, I can tell you the ticket sales. But over here, they ain't sold out over here. I can tell you that. There's plenty of tickets left over here.
You can see that on TV, man. They booking smaller places now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Shit, I'm hoping I get some free ones again. Shit, all right, I
So
was back.
what else we got on this card so
Next,
far? Right?
Sting and Darby Allin versus Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal. TNA.
Yeah, I heard that chant.
I forgot this
I
was
heard that
even
chant. And
happening until it happened.
You should have saw Sting's face when they were chanting that. Like Sting had his face like just looked like whatever face, like whatever. It like I swear to God, it's like this face he had when they were chanting that. He looked at the crowd like whatever. You know, I don't know why y'all chanted that for. Like, huh? Whatever.
It's Sting versus Jeff Jarrett again, folks. Bound for Glory, 2006. Or maybe
you know
2000.
what was the funny part to me? The commentary. Tony Schiavone was trying his best to say WCW without saying WCW all through that whole commentary. Oh well, Sting and Jeff Jarrett, their first match was in 2000. That 2000 was that year. 2000. My goodness, what year? 2000. What company? What year? Huh? Tell me, Tony. You can't say it. My bad.
90 something.
My bad.
I wonder why.
No. He was talking about He was trying to say WCW without saying WCW constantly throughout that
But I
whole
wonder why
time.
he couldn't. Like, why? I mean, Tony Schiavone
Right?
obviously
Yeah.
was
Why he
there.
couldn't?
Like, just say it.
Yeah.
Bro.
Right. They ain't true. I thought they could. Right, you might as well have just said it. You know what I'm saying? Like you were beating around the bush so many times, and like Steven said, why you couldn't say it? Why you couldn't say it? It ain't like you was never there.
Is Triple H
you
gonna
was
pull
part
up
of the
with a cease and desist just because he said WCW?
said WCW. Just say the company that you was from, because he was constantly beating around the bush with it. Yeah, it's like that was the funny part to me. But this match was wild, bro. My goodness.
Can I say? I guess Sting is like I'll just wear anything. I don't need to wear wrestling gear.
Sting is goated, bro. My man said, "I'll just show up, jump off some shit, and give me my check, bro."
Because they gonna go crazy for it no matter what Sting is.
All I gotta do is wear the face.
It's Sting, bro.
Just wear the face.
It's Sting, bro.
Sting goated, bro.
But this match was wild, though.
It's fucking
Man, did you? I had a problem with one thing, and it's that 7-foot tall Goofy.
Wow,
That's
really?
who I have a problem with. That's who I really have a problem with, because he didn't catch Darby.
Really didn't.
He barely caught him. He how he slammed Sting was just looked horrible. I mean, my goodness, Sting fell on his side.
Well, Sting definitely overshot him. I don't know how you overshoot a 7-foot person.
But I'm looking like, man, the part that he was in, I was like, oh my goodness, this not looking good. He didn't catch that nigga. And he just basically made sure that Darby didn't fall backwards once he landed. He's like, oh, okay, I got it. And he already landed on the ground on his feet. You should have caught him.
Yeah, that had to suck too, by the way.
Yeah, that had to suck. That's what I'm like, oh my goodness. I know who he is, but man, it's like, come on, every time, bro. Every time.
Yeah, because his speech. Wow.
That match was crazy, though. I ain't gonna even lie to you. That match was like, oh my goodness, like man, it was like, it was wild. It was just a wild match.
I did like the Scorpion.
That last part, you talk about the Scorpion death drop off the lethal injection. If he would have got it, it would look beautiful.
No, I was gonna say the double team one with Darby and Sting when they did the Scorpion death drop in the coffin.
That was cool. That was a good one. If he would have caught Jay Lethal in that off the lethal injection and they didn't fall backwards, I swear that would have looked beautiful. That would have looked good. But they ended up falling backwards off of that collide.
See, I see people keep saying that, but I mean, that's what the death drop is. So when he did it, I thought that was cool. Like, because instead of just stopping and doing it, he just did it in one motion. whether on purpose or not. But I mean, he did the move.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it still, it did.
He did it
Hit the
regardless.
move. No, I just, nah, for that pitch, I was just looking at it from like that picture perfect view. You know what I'm saying? If he would have caught him as he would have came in, that's what I was looking at it like. If it was that picture perfect view, but I understand what y'all said. He hit the move. Nonetheless, he hit the move.
Lethal came in too hot. He said, "Whoa,
hot, yeah, that's what it was. He came in too hot. He bounced off that rope way too hard. It came in. I'm like, oh. I was looking. I'm like, oh. But hey, man, I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, I didn't have a real favorite match. I mean, y'all probably looking at me crazy right now, but I really didn't. Like, y'all been going through the matches and y'all hit y'all favorite points and y'all high points, and I'm over here looking like I ain't hit my high points until the women's title match. Really,
interesting."
that was really from a wrestling standpoint. Other than the Ring of Honor match, that Fatal 4-Way, like they were pretty good. Tony Storm and Jamie Hayter. Before we get into my bad for jumping too far, but that was really my high point.
Yeah, because we're gonna get into that next. I will say this before we move on. Like, I will give Jeff Jarrett some credit. Like, this dude finds his way to make him something in wrestling all the time. Like, somehow, some way, Jeff Jarrett finds a way to get himself in a good spot in wrestling.
Well, he's the opposite of Tony Khan. He's a perpetual bag securer.
Oh yes,
right. He don't fumble the bag. Not at all.
You can't keep this man away from a bag, bro.
Hey,
you're right. You can't keep him away. And it seems like people throwing it at him too. Like, here, take this bag, all right? Please, CCW, please take this bag. WWE, please take this bag. Not TNA, AEW. Here you go. Here's some more money. Like, dang, man, this man here.
I'll say this. I think it's kind of funny. Like, we've seen him for the past few weeks almost dressed like the Undertaker and call himself the Last Outlaw. Then he comes out like it's, Jeff Jarrett, TNA, 2000 something. Then
he did. He did look like that was more that outfit right there. He first wore that actually in WCW. He actually that red and silver. Yeah, that red and silver.
Yep, and then you just hear my world outfit. And then you just hear My World played in. Yeah, you hear that song.
My world.
That's cold. Oh my goodness, that's cold. At the same time, I do like the Last Outlaw gimmick though. I like the all black. You know what I'm saying? I like that. And see, here's the thing. Ain't that something? This man, do y'all feel like he more of a star now than he ever was in the 90s?
Of course.
Yeah. Even in the 2000s, it was a pretty good name. I'll say that in the 2000s.
Nah. See, I got
unless it was the Reign of Terror.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I got PTSD from TNA. Like, nah, this right now, Nostalgia Run is a lot better than everything TNA he was doing.
Because I don't want to go to the whole, he had 1,000 guitars and never drew a dime type of deal. But
here's the thing. Here's the thing with him though, Bryce. It's everywhere he went, he had like I would say a lucky break, but he had somewhat of some type of luck. Because here's the thing, in WWE, he wasn't like he was some type of lower mid card guy. He was always had the Intercontinental Championship around his waist. True. That's one thing he did have. But here's the thing, when he went to WCW and people started seeing him in a world title picture, don't look at that like he just elevated. No, WCW was dying, and they were going to put that title on anybody.
Yeah, Vince
Russo. Anybody who had some type of name. You know what I'm saying? Anybody who had some type of name, they were going to put that belt on them, hoping that they were going to be the ones who were going to save the dying company. We all know that didn't happen. Man, that's Jeff Jarrett in a nutshell.
Russo
That's
did that.
Yeah, I know, but that's Jeff Jarrett in a nutshell. The company died. Vince fired him on TV. He went on to make TNA. That's your story about Jeff Jarrett in a nutshell.
Yeah, we don't talk about Global Force. We don't talk about Global Force.
Global what? I erased that. I erased that from my mind. I don't even want that back in my head.
I will say this. I always call Jeff Jarrett a snake oil salesman at one point because I'm like, man, he's a pretty silver-tongued devil. I'll give him that because I've always got to call him that at some point.
What are these phrases, dude? Are you like 50? Like what the fuck? Snake oil salesman,
to a
bro.
guy who said so.
I've heard that for years.
I know you heard it for years, but what we said is like, man, we only hear it from old people.
Right, bro. You ain't even 30, bro. Talking about some silver tongued devil, bro. Okay, bro.
Right. When the last time you heard that say silver tongued devil?
Red Dead Redemption. Red Dead Redemption.
Alright. There you go. That's probably it. And they gotta talk like that. You know what I'm saying on that game because it's like the Wild
that game
West.
is like in the 40s or something, right?
The haberdasher. Oh man, that's hilarious. But yeah, next though, the AEW women's title. Well, I guess I should be saying interim women's title. Toni Storm.
Because they're gonna keep on saying it.
Yep.
They're gonna keep on doing it. They got it. My bad. I was just saying they gonna keep on doing it in our face. Hey, y'all. She is not the real women's champion. All right.
Yeah, they gotta make sure to tell you that. this match though, man, a lot of overbooking in the end. Lots of overbooking.
And the crowd, right quick, but y'all do that thing.
And the crowd turned on Toni Storm. Pro Jamie Hayter. We threw everything at the kitchen sink.
But you saw that though. Oh
yeah.
They were cheering that girl from a couple of weeks ago when they found out that she was the #1 contender. So I kind of saw that. I saw a lot of signs in the crowd that hey, it's hater time. It's hater time. It's hater time. I'm like, oh man, this is a pro Jamie Hayter crowd. And to be honest with you, like I said, this was because of the crowd interaction with the match, how the crowd was rooting for Jamie Hayter. It was like, man, it was a good match, hard hitting. A lot of spots that made some sense. This is by far out of all three of those matches, all three of the women matches that was happening on Full Gear last night. This to me was the better one. It was better than the Saraya Britt. Because here's the thing, Saraya and Britt is not that person to compliment Saraya in the ring. She complimented her when it comes down to having an opponent to go against when it comes down to talking, but when it came down to the ring, you can see. But Jamie Hayter and Toni Storm, both of them could go. So that's why it was a good match to me.
Oh, you want to? Yeah, go ahead. We want to go next. Steve, you want to go next?
Steve went away for a bit. He said, "Keep going."
Oh, okay. But like I said, the crowd was already pro Jamie Hayter as it is. We know they was with her the entire time. You know, I look at Toni Storm's run as champion. I don't know, man, because there were points in time where I forgot she was the champion. Like I really did.
She had the same run. She had the same run as Warlow.
Yeah, it was like
it's a monster of the week.
Yeah,
it's a monster of the week thing. Who next?
Yeah, they were just throwing anybody at Tony Storm Tony Storm at one point. It was like, okay, who's facing her this week? Who's facing her next week? Or the whole, here's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be Tony Storm, insert tag team partner, versus Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter for God knows how many times.
Yes.
How many times?
That's
that?
It's
Terrible.
Come on now. She had so many different tag team partners just to go against Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker. You know what I'm saying? They really didn't do Tony Storm any justice with this. Real talk. I just felt like she never should have touched the title right there and there anyway, to be honest with you. Because none of these people are hot enough to even say, hey, here's the title because you did so well and you got so over. Here's the reward. Like none of these people got that over to the point that they deserve a championship. Like
it's not like Thunder Rosa's even around because that's all shit. The locker room already don't like her to what we always keep hearing about. Or Thunder Rosa apparently having fake injuries, pulling a Shawn Michaels I lost my smile type of thing that's been going on. So we don't even know when she will be back because
right. They never disclosed the injury. That's what really baffles me with the whole situation is you never disclosed the injury. What was the injury? I never seen anything like that. I swear to you. I'm probably wrong. There's probably a lot of injuries out there that probably that went under my nose that I probably didn't know. You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing: they never came out with the injury. Like this is why the Rosa out for X amount of months. It's like, especially when you got your world champion, your women's world champion, about to go on the champ, about to not relinquish the title. Basically, she's still champion. So somebody let me know. Like, well, I never understood what was the whole deal. Why what put her on the shelf?
She said something about her back being messed up, but I didn't hear like a specific like what was wrong with it or anything.
Right, and that's the only thing with me is like I like man all that other extra stuff I don't care. I just want to know what was her reason to still be champion on the show. Like that's kind of weird to me a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I really don't like. Like this match was actually really good, as I expected it to be, considering who was in it. Like Tony and Jamie,
both of those girls could go.
But
both of those girls could go.
I had two huge problems with this match that don't even really have anything to do with the match itself. I mean, y'all already touched on the crowd reaction to Tony. Well, I'll get to that in a minute. But what we were just talking about.
No, I want to talk about that. Steven, can we?
Well, yeah, I'll say that, but I want to talk about.
I want to talk about that because I wasn't feeling it. I don't know if you were feeling it, but I wasn't feeling that. I wasn't feeling the overwhelming support for the heel. Like, show me a real reason why this girl here deserved that championship to the point that y'all say she deserved it so much. Y'all say the crowd is screaming on the top of their lungs for the girl. It's hater time. It's hater time. Why is it hater time?
Well, here's the thing, and I guess I'll touch on it now. It's not even exclusive. It only really bothered me because it was Tony Storm, but this isn't even exclusive to her. It's Tony Khan's ineptitude when booking babyface champions. Because we just saw it with Wardlow. Before Tony, we saw it with Thunder Rosa. Before that, we saw it with Hangman Page. He doesn't know how to book babyface champ. They never have any feuds that are compelling, if they have feuds at all. And so eventually what happens is somebody else comes along that just catches fire. And then the fans just want that. Because like I said to Bryce yesterday, it wasn't even that long ago where people were saying Thunder Rosa's boring as champion. Tony Storm should beat her. Tony Storm beat her. And now they're saying the same thing about Tony Storm. And it's like, okay, well, great. We feel this way about Jamie Hayter. That's great. She's actually a good wrestler, so I don't even have any
She
problems with
actually,
it.
Jamie Hayter's
don't
really
get me wrong, Steven. Don't get me wrong, bro. Don't get me wrong. I am not saying that. I'm just asking why was it her time?
No, I'm
Because
not
that's
even
all I was
saying
thinking
that.
about
I'm
last
not
night
even
when I was
saying that
watching
you're
it.
saying that. I'm just saying that she is a good wrestler. So it's cool that she's getting this reaction. Like we were just talking about Britt Baker and all that, and the Alexa Blisses who get these kind of reactions when they aren't great wrestlers. So it is good that it's somebody like Jamie
An
Hayter.
actual good wrestler get that reaction.
Yeah.
Exactly. But the problem is history in AEW has shown that Tony Khan is inept when booking babyface champions. So if right now Jamie Hayter is champion, that's great. Once we get a month down the line and she still hasn't had any feuds, she's still doing the challenger of the week.
Yeah.
And then, like I said to Bryce, I said, "What? Then it's going to be like a Sky Blue where somebody comes along, and then everybody's going to get
Yeah.
behind her and boo
Yep.
Jamie Hayter, and we're going to do the same because we just did this same cycle with Thunder Rosa, and then we just did it with Tony Storm. So now, why would I expect something different to happen just because you put the belt on Jamie Hayter? Granted,
Right.
Jamie, unlike those two, has a feud already set up for her whenever they start this Britt Baker
Yes.
thing.
A
True.
tailor-made feud
That's
right
true. It's
there,
found.
made on a silver platter.
But after that, it's
It's
like, okay, well, who's next? What's the follow up? What's the story going to be after that? So
because he had a track record of not following up on after big feuds. Ask
Oh yeah.
Warlow.
exactly. So that
Oh
was
yeah.
that was my that was my first problem with the match is the fans booing Tony not to any fault of her own. It's just this is
Oh,
what
right.
happens.
It
Like,
just
And
happens.
that's what. See, here's the thing. Like, I agree with all your points. All your points. It's like I just it's with the AEW fans. It's like it's they do it. I know when Tony. I know Tony Khan, mess up a lot, but it seems like they don't see that. You know what I'm saying? It seems like they don't see the mess up that he does. And it seems like they just, all right, cool. She not doing well, so we just gonna boo her. It's like, but it's the power of the pen. I can't
exactly.
do anything. I can't do anything outside of what is said to me to do. So I'm sorry, fans, that I'm not really excited, but exciting to watch, or I don't have any exciting views or anything. But I can't just do this on my own.
Exactly.
Somebody
And I
got to
said
write this
to
down
Yep.
for me.
I
That's
said to
true.
Bryce yesterday, it wasn't even that long ago where she was getting a pie in the face by Charlotte, and fans were saying, "Well, I can't wait for her to leave and go to AEW." And it's like,
Uh huh.
well, here
And
Yeah.
she
she
is.
did.
Yeah. She doesn't need the WWE, and now it's like, hey, you
Pack
mentioned
her
going to
up. Here's
AEW.
Jamie Hayter. Like,
Yeah. Now it's like they turned on her.
Right.
Before it was like, yeah,
And
she
like
just
Steven said, I'm waiting on that time where they gonna be screaming when she in the with Jamie Hayter in the feud with Britt Baker, they gonna be screaming, "I'll put the belt on back on Britt. Put the belt back on Britt."
yeah. So we need to build back on Britt Baker. She's a star. Nah, this Jamie
Oh,
Hayter
she's a
thing's not working.
star. She's a, it's not working. It's not working. Oh, it's not. Oh, cool.
You all
so
wanted
that's
it.
so that's one thing. And my second problem with this match is kind of an extension of that. Because we took the belt off of Tony Storm and she was quote unquote interim champion, that doesn't even count. Like her title reign doesn't count. And so it's like it never even happened because Thunder Rosa, quote unquote, is still the real
It's still your
champion.
champion.
Yeah, it's
So
technically
Jamie Hayter beat a champion that technically never existed. And if Jamie loses the belt, that
She would never
is going
assist
to
in it.
exactly. And if we don't know how long Thunder Rosa is going to be out, so the fact that we're just having this interim championship go around and none of these reigns are going to count until Thunder
don't mean
Rosa gets
shit.
back, it's like you should have just took the belt off of her, man. Like,
Yeah, they should have just relinquished the belt off.
And this my first time. This my first time hearing that rule coming from Steven. That I never knew that if you are the interim champion, your reigns don't count. I never knew that, bro. So this put a new perspective for me looking at it like, hold on, man. If it never counts, so what's the point? What the point for real? What the point of this?
It's not in the lineage. It's not going to be there because it wasn't the real championship. So
It's like, what is the point? Like the reign don't count. It's just like you just holding the belt just to be holding the belt. Not even the real title, because the real champion ain't
Not
there
even
right now.
and they can easily rectify that by having Tony just say, all right, well, Thunder Rosa is still out, so we're just going to vacate her title, and this is the women's championship now. And so we can nix all this. Tony Storm was champion, Jamie Hayter was champion. But until he does that, fuck Tony Storm. That title reign didn't matter. And now Jamie Hayter's got a belt that doesn't mean anything until she beats Thunder Rosa. So
Yeah.
Yep. So until then, it's like whatever in a way. Like, hey, she's the champion, but ain't the real champion. So, boom, there you go. Next, a match I did forget was on this card: the Acclaim versus Swerve and Our Glory for the AEW Tag Team titles.
As I was watching it too, Brace, I forgot it too. I ain't gonna even lie to you.
Swear to God,
As
I forgot this match was even happening.
I forgot all about this, but
I like Swerve's mask he came out with. I like that. And, they had him come out there and rap, which the Acclaim, the bars was okay. That's all I'm gonna say. It was okay. Like the bars. I know we didn't see Billy Gunn out there, which I guess they still playing up to the whole injury with his hands and all that. The match itself, it wasn't bad. I never really thought the Acclaim were gonna lose anyways. It was pretty entertaining. Swerve, Keith Lee, that all blew up in the end and stuff. Swerve slapping him, and then Keith Lee just like, yeah, this is done. I'm out, and they end up taking out Swerve then, and
they had a story on both sides, so
it was it was story.
Both stories. They had both stories. I mean, good stories on both sides. The other story, oh man, is what's the name going to? Is his injury going to hold up? Is he going to be good throughout this match with his injury? It was already pointed out that he's the guy who made out of paper mache. Basically, as we would say, for an injury-prone person. And I like the story on the other end, like you just said, Bryce, with Keith Lee and Swerve finally exploding now. It's finally done. We've been saying this for the past couple of months now. It's finally done. We can, we can have a single feud for both of them now.
True, because it's not like we got a lot of tag teams right now, so we just broke up another tag team.
See, that's why I thought Keith Lee was going to turn heel, man, because this does not best serve the tag division.
Everybody thought that.
There's no division now.
Everybody thought that. And so that's so crazy from a company that went from we're gonna think about tag team to the point that now we got here that we don't have that many tag teams no more. Ain't that something like this company was kind of built off of the tag division a little bit. A lot of their good matches came from the tag division.
That's what they were built on.
Yeah, but now it's like they tag division is kind of dwindling now.
It's like all the main star tag teams are breaking up or in the trios division. And so what you're just left with is a bunch of nobody tag teams like Butcher and Blade, Best Friends, Private Party. Like these dudes are not going to be holding
guys who always
the Gun Club. Who else? Shit, it ain't a lot. And it's like you just said, not to backtrack to the other titles, but it's like you said, like it's not enough tag teams right now. And even when you look at the whole 6-man thing, it's like, yeah, let's do a best of 7 thing, but you got all these factions.
We don't have enough.
Yeah, but we got like 100 factions walking around in the back. We got like all these factions together, and
and none of them are credible factions.
It's credible.
That's why they try their best right now with the House of Black with their promos and vignettes. That's a real reason. I'm looking at this. I'm looking at the vignettes and looking like, man, I'm not stupid. I know y'all trying to make them credible enough for the for the elite to go run through them like hot knife through butter. That's all they're gonna happen, But they just trying to make them credible enough so we can be like, oh my God, can the House of Black beat the elite? No, they can't.
I remember a point like a
They-
few months ago, man, when all we were talking about was like, oh man, Blackpool Combat Club, we got Danielson, we got Moxley, we got Yuta. They're right there, trios champions. And it's like now it's like who gives a damn about any of it?
Yes, who cares? Hey, you talk about House of Black. Remember when Malachi Black was kind of like the shit when he faced Cody, but then after that, shit started to dwindle.
Are you calling Tony Khan a perpetual bag fumbler, Bryce?
Man, are you
sir?
Are you seriously saying? Are you seriously saying the Booker of the Year is not good at booking? That's what you're trying to tell me. That's what you're trying to say.
The Booker of the Year. That's
Can't
Dave
be.
Meltzer's boy.
How dare you?
Oh man, I'm just saying, man. I don't think that good of a booker as everybody think he is.
Yeah, but it's like, but I don't want to jump off. I mean, we still on subject. It ain't jumping off, but we've been saying the same thing all through this whole review. It's like it's so crazy how we keep on saying the same thing. He a bag fumbler. He a bag fumbler. He a bag fumbler. He don't know how to book. He don't know how to do this. He don't know how to do that. He's like, my goodness, man, you're gonna run this business. You're gonna run this company down, and you got a good fan base. You got a strong fan base. To be honest with you, I ain't never seen nobody as strong as these AEW fan base. I'm telling you, boy, they argue with something clearly that's not it. And they will still come at your head. How dare you say it's not it? He got a strong fan base.
Yeah, because hey, Steven, I was gonna say, Steven, didn't we gotta say this last night during that tag match? I know you said well, you thought you saw Grimm's toy show out there, but or was it just another neckbeard out there? Because that's usually the majority of these guys that argue on the internet are the neckbeards. Or something.
Fat, white, neck bearded dude, yeah.
I mean, that's a fan base. Oh, man, if you didn't see it in the crowd, if you didn't see it in the crowd, boy, that's all you still saw out there. Especially with Jamie Hayter won. And it's this one dude. It's a straight description of what y'all just said. That nigga, yeah. They cheering everything. I was rolling because the only reason I was busting up laughing like that because I know the fan base, and that's all I be looking for when I look inside that audience. I was looking for the guys who just I hate to say something like that because I don't like to disparage people, you know what I'm saying, like that. But lame looking guys, you know what I'm saying, lame looking dudes, I'm sorry to say something like that, you know what I'm saying. I mean, I'm the coolest guy in the world, but
wasn't that the whole catalyst for Jade Cargil introducing the baddie section? She said she was tired of seeing all these neckbeards in the crowd. Like,
yeah, I remember that.
But that's a fan base, though, B.
Hey, man, dude, I've been there live. I've seen it several times now. I've been there in person. I've seen them. It's a lot of them. They come in droves.
Looking like a damn MAGA rally out here, bro.
Oh my goodness, it's so crazy. Like I'm just thought in these 3 years that they'll have some type of more of a fan base, but it seems like their fan base is very stagnant too. It's like even though it's strong, but it stays at 1%. It stays like that for the past 3 years.
Hey, but you know what?
Really got past that.
You have a good point because I was going to chime in and say it's been said that about the fan base that they don't grow the audience other than the hardcore fans that they already have. Nothing wrong with how can I say, how not placating, but serving your audience and whatnot. But you have to grow at the same time. Okay, you need
Yeah.
different fans and stuff. You can't just rely on the same hardcore fans. Hell, that's why the ratings are where they are right now. Okay, y'all barely get
Right.
over a million half the time.
They always gonna be at that million or lower because of that. You know what I'm saying? They need to, and they need to hit more people. They need to let more people look at the product. But here's the thing. I'm gonna play devil advocate on this. Here's the thing. Because the wrestling is so stagnant, it ain't like the other guys over there can get past 2 million because they can't even get past 2 million. That's mostly what Raw and SmackDown be getting. So it's like it's wrestling in a whole. Even though I do agree with both of y'all with it's a fact and they don't placate to a lot more audience than a hardcore audience, but wrestling is a niche. It became a niche product now.
Hey, but you know
It,
what? They
I would,
I've been shitting on Tony Khan a lot on this episode, but I will give him a lot of credit for what he's been doing recently with trying
what,
to make
what,
wrestling cool because he's bringing in guys like West Side Gun and Rick Ross and Trina, and he's trying to appeal to a different kind of crowd that's not these fat white neckbeard niggas. And he's trying to appeal to niggas like me. I mean, even though I'm already here, but
I'm
niggas like
already here,
me.
right?
Yeah, same here. I'm already here.
But when you put
Right,
on
we all in the same category with that, Now I
But when
do
you
agree
put
with
on
you on that, Steven.
like a Rick Ross on the show and he's tweeting out that he's about to be on AEW, that puts a different set of eyes on there. And so I'm gonna give Tony Khan props for that because I mean he obviously
But once the
sees.
eyes,
Go
my
ahead.
bad for cutting you out. Go ahead, go. You want me? Go ahead. Yeah, you sure?
Yeah, go ahead.
My bad, Steven. But once the eyes are there, they see what they see, and they be like, "Oh man, I ain't really too much liking this." So, but it could go both ways, though. It could go. Way number one is they just probably not into wrestling, no matter what you do. You could bring Rick, you could bring Trader, you could bring Drake, you could bring anybody, but it should be that fan base that be like, man, I ain't into wrestling. I ain't watch this wrestling stuff since '99, And so you could bring the horse to the water, but you can't make him drink. And that's what it is. He brought him there, but if the water ain't good, we walking away.
Well, that's
Yeah,
And
I mean,
so
yeah, that's a different thing though. Like people just don't like wrestling. People just don't like wrestling. But I'm just saying, like, at least the effort has been made to. I mean, it's just
oh
like
yeah, most definitely, most definitely.
the same thing that WWE was doing with Logan Paul and Bad Bunny. And if you have the mindset that you have some kind of finger on the pulse that you can see what people are into and the kind of people you want to bring in, for him to make
Yeah.
those moves and bring those people in. If they want to stay, that's on them. But for you to make those moves, I mean, I'm gonna give him credit for that.
Yeah,
oh yeah,
yeah, most definitely. I will too. I will
yeah,
too.
definitely. At least they're trying to like get different set of eyeballs in the same ones. Because I've heard, like I said, I've heard many people say that about. So yeah, you just got the neck beards out there. I've even had people come ask me like, so are they even really chicks at these shows or nah? And
I be seeing a couple of them,
a
and
couple.
then the
That's
ones
it.
that I do, and I will get the AEW fan base when it comes down to the female part of it. What I do when they do pan the crowd, there ain't a lot of ugly ones out there. You know what I'm saying? I seen a couple of them like, oh man, you here? Hey, hey, well, I wouldn't expect you to be here, but but they already with their guys. And they like,
That's
like
true.
some single, females that's out there. It's like they always on a date,
Yeah, they what they do
Uh,
basically.
I think they
yeah.
just got to keep. He's just got to keep pushing like he has been. Because I mean, I'm seeing AEW clips on the Shade Room. I'm seeing Jade on the Breakfast Club and all. Like you,
Club,
you just got
Yeah,
to
yeah.
Bow
keep
Wow.
doing that, and it'll either work or it
Yeah,
doesn't.
and
But
since
not doing it ain't gonna work.
right,
So.
there we go. Bingo. I love that. I love that point because my brother came to me the other day and talk about, man, oh yeah, Jade on the Breakfast Club. I didn't even know that. I'm like, oh, okay, then that's what's up. That's an exposure right there.
Exactly.
You know, and like you said, on the Shade Room having wrestling,
That's what
huh?
I'm saying, bro. Like,
Be surprised. So at least they're trying to
And
get to
so,
different platforms and whatnot.
yeah,
Uh,
I would most definitely get that.
and
And I
stuff.
say they doing it actually in a more of a cool factor than WWE doing it.
yeah, because they
Yeah.
got legit
They
people
do,
who like wrestling, like West Side Gun out here co-signing that. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't come across as like somebody like if Tony Khan himself was out here on the Shade Room or some shit, like that'd be a lot different than like West Side Gun in the front row tweeting about it and stuff like that. So
and right, and I
yeah,
see at West Side Gun almost every pay per view, almost too.
Everybody thought he was
It's
out there
like,
last night, front row.
it's like you see this on a regular basis though too with him. Yeah, like he just there one or two times. Like you see him a lot.
He's at several wrestling shows. So like he's been at WWE shows. Hell, he went to Japan just to go to the G1. He went to that. So he
I
goes to a
think
lot of wrestling shows.
I think it's I think one thing that can help wrestling out is people just come out the closet with it. You know what I'm saying? Do you like it or not? It's a lot of people who actually like wrestling who's in the mainstream, but since wrestling is not as mainstream as it was back in the day, they don't even mention it, or they mention it in some type of jokey way, like I like that wrestling, oh yeah, I like that, and then they mention some old nigga name back in the day or so. Remember Bruce or Brody? Man, nigga, we ain't in the 70s. Like, I think people need to come out and say how much they still enjoy wrestling
I think
in the
it'll help
mainstream.
just trying to appeal to a cooler demographic. And I think AEW, I mean, regardless of all its shortcomings, like they've got that edge over WWE, man. Because WWE it's just WWE. Like people know WWE, but in terms of like a cool factor, like these niggas had Action Bronson wrestling on the show this year.
Yeah.
Like
Right,
that shit ain't
right,
happening, bro. That's cool, bro. Like, so
yeah.
I'm all for the direction to push towards a cooler demographic. Because I mean, we went on a tangent about it, but all these neckbeards, bro, get them out the crowd and get some more cool niggas in
You
there, bro.
can't, don't do that, Steven. You can't do that. They still paying customers. They still paying customers.
I say, damn the neckbeards.
I said, damn the That's what you said.
They be like, man, let me check under your neck. Oh, you can't buy a ticket. Go ahead, get out of here.
Send them to the gallows.
Off with their heads.
Off with their heads up the creek, I say. Bunch of merry-weather whatevers and whatnot. But yeah, overall though, yeah, the tag match, yeah, it was good. Acclaim retain. Will FTR ever get a title shot at some point? I hope
Find
so.
out on the
Find
next
out next
episode,
time on the
man.
next. Right, I was just about to say that. I was just about to say that because come on now, well, I don't know when they're gonna ever get a shot.
Got all these
on
belts.
this.
They got no choice now because it's just them and the Acclaimed in the division.
Who else is there?
They mess around, man. Man, I swear they mess around and never touch those belts while they in the whole tenure AEW.
Fucking put the kingdom
Real
up
talk.
against them. Like, no, bro. Put
No,
FTR against the
they'll
Acclaimed.
give the Trust Busters. The Trust Busters will be next in line for the titles.
Oh my gosh.
Oh God. Trust Busters.
So we got one more match.
Okay. Main event. We finally have reached the main event through this long, very long show. But then again, all these AEW shows are really long. Jon Moxley versus MJF for the AEW World Championship.
The
MJF,
most conservative match that Jon Moxley ever did.
and he didn't bleed. He didn't bleed.
He did it. My goodness.
I don't believe it. He had a wrestling match.
He needs to go against MJF all the time to have a nice match, a nice match without you banging your head against something or somebody making you bleed, we need you to go against MJF all the time. Then, if that's the case,
Wasn't one of these like I'm here to drink your blood? He didn't do that.
He did say that to him.
Well, he said that, but you know, it didn't actually happen. It didn't actually happen. That him just bleeding like a faucet in the first 2 minutes of the match or something like that.
They had that as one of the questions at Drive Clean with Moxley bleed. Oh,
that's hilarious.
And I bet there's a lot of people who lost some money because I would have been one of them. I would have been like, oh, that's a dumbass question. Yes, he will bleed.
He will bleed.
Surprise, he didn't bleed. This is actually a good match, though. You know, everybody saw the swerve. Y'all saw the swerve happening, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody saw that. That was basically, you know, it was right there in front of your face every week, basically. The person who helps him win was there all the time, every week, in front of your face. And that was so crazy. The snake is right there. And who could agree with me? The best William Regal gimmicks are when he is the snake.
Of course. Once a villain, always a villain.
That's what he's the best. That's what he's the best at what he do. When he's the snake. And I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't know how this gonna work though, because both of I don't think MJF do really need the mouthpiece.
Not really.
Not really.
No.
No.
I mean, it looked good. It looked good. Don't get me wrong. Like you see MJF with William Regal. Oh my God, this dude look like a nice little, manager wrestler duo. But do he need him?
Well, we don't necessarily know that
Regal?
They're going to be together, though, right?
Yeah, true. We just all speculated off of what we had just saw last night. Or that that little situation. I just play a backseat booker, and I'm looking like, man, hold on.
To that point, though, it's not like Danielson or Moxley needed him either for that.
He either. I know. I'm with you on that, Steven. Because all he did most of the time was saying in the background with Moxley talking
and looking menacing.
The guy in the mask. How you doing?
Right. My nigga, whoa.
Mine with the mask.
You are very subtle.
You're very looking scrumptious today.
Right. I'm like, all right, bro.
Like, all right, Rico, calm it down. Like, it's kind of all right. It was funny after week 1, okay? Like, go a little bit too much into it.
I mean, I still thought it was funny. I just didn't even know why it was happening.
Right. It's Regal, though. Regal be doing that little type of random stuff on commentary. I swear he do. He is very random when it comes to commentary. You would not expect some of the stuff. You'd be like, what are you talking about? But I like this match. I ain't gonna lie to you. I didn't have, to be honest with y'all though, another day y'all probably look at me crazy. I wasn't anticipating this match like that. I really wasn't. I knew who was gonna win. I just was waiting for the title change. Let's do that. And who gonna be his next opponent when it comes to being on Dynamite? Because I know they got a track record of just throwing opponents right afterwards, not letting it they simmer or build. They just, here's your next opponent right here. So you be like, okay, can I at least talk stuff while I'm on a champion? Like, haha, I'm the champion. Y'all say I couldn't be champion. At least they have a kind of promo on Dynamite. Nah, they're gonna throw the challenge in front of his face. I promise you. That's how it's gonna happen.
Well, at least with MJF, he's guaranteed to get promo time.
Of course.
Oh, yeah,
we'll
of
see
course,
what happens.
Of course.
This week that's probably what's going to happen, and then we'll see where it goes after that.
I
Yeah,
agree.
hopefully
Yeah.
he do get that promo time like you said, Steven, and that'll be it until another week later. And I don't
Right.
want it right there to there in my face, right there to there. You know, I want things to simmer so we can like, dang, MJF is finally champion. You know,
Mm-hmm.
True. That's definitely true because we already knew he was going to win this anyways. Like, there was no doubt about it. Like I said, this crowd was super pro MJF. Like, come on. They were on his side no matter what he did out there. Okay. So Regal, getting involved, betraying Moxie. I kind of saw that coming. I don't think they were going to send the firm out there again after they just had MJF just made the firm look like idiots out there the other night. Comically also. So you knew it had to be Regal because I'm like, what else could have happened, you know, if it wasn't going to be Regal, unless they came up with something else that nobody knew about, then yeah. But we all knew this was going to be MJF's time at this point. Like, it was bound to happen. The match was still pretty good though. Like I said, it was good, and like I said, looking forward to the promo this Wednesday
yeah,
because
me too.
and I
I can't wait to hear that boy talk.
yeah, and I like that. I liked at the end when he went up the stage and the security guard was helping him, and then he just pushed the security guard like, "Get off me!" Like, he was helping him up the stage, and he just like, yeah, get off me. This is my time. And then he just sat there with the belt, and he did some snow angels and whatnot. Shout out to Punk. So that was the end of the whole thing.
I thought this match was. I mean, it was a good match. I think it went too long, not necessarily runtime wise, but content wise. Because I mean, Moxley just kind of kicked his ass for like 15 minutes,
He was throwing him
Yes,
around.
he did.
and I'm like, all right, man.
He was throwing
If
him all around.
like this show went off at 12 my time last night, and I'm like, all right, if this is all this match is going to be, and then he's going to hit him with the ring, this didn't need to be this long, bro.
Not right. Exactly what you. Exactly. I was man. Exactly. I swear. I would agree with you on that one. Because here's the thing. I looked at the amount of time that we had left on there, and I looked at it. I'm like, dang, they gonna go 28 minutes? That's what you trying to 28 minutes? Do a Moxley match need to be 28 minutes? Like, no Moxley match needs to be 28 minutes, bro. I swear to you, it don't need to be. I'm not trying to knock Mox. I'm really not. But here's the thing: his wrestling style don't equal over a 20-minute match. His wrestling style is more of a bruiser, a brawler. Can you imagine somebody brawling for 30 minutes? I no wrestling moves in this thing. It's just straight fist kick, slam you into something, throw
Biting.
a weapon at you. You know what I'm saying? Put you through a table. Like all these things are brawling through. You think a 30-minute match needs to be done? Like you don't need a 30-minute match for Moxley. I'm with you on that. That was the only gripe I really had with this.
It's
Like it went too long.
it's possible I'd feel different about it if I watched it in isolation. Like if I just turned the show on and that match was on and I just watched it, I'd probably feel different about it. But after sitting there for 3 hours, 30 minutes, and then it's
Yeah.
11:30 at night, I'm like, all right, man. Like,
Yeah, because it went on too much of my time. Yeah, when you look at the total runtime, it literally from my time over here, it went from 6 to 11 p.m. Like that's how long this show was.
Yeah,
Like
that's how long. Yeah, over here, Steven. Yep, 6 to 11 p.m. So that's 5 hours.
well, lucky y'all, because I'm an hour in front of y'all. So it's midnight and I'm still sitting here like, all right, man.
and like I wasn't
I'm
about to
ready.
sit through. I wasn't about to sit through the media scrum, so I wasn't really about to watch that.
That's why I told you, Bryce. I wasn't watching it because I was like, I would just rather have did something else and while it was on live, and then came back and watched it while it was, the replay and everything. And so I could time it myself. You know what I'm saying? I could take breaks myself and regroup because some of this stuff you needed to regroup from. Like, oh my goodness, all right, cool. That was how many hours was that? 2 hours? My goodness. All right, time out. You know, You need halftime to mess with AEW. Yeah.
I need a drink or something. So
I need to take a break. Who want to step outside with me today, right quick? Come on, because we need a break, right quick. Because that's how it is. Like that's right, a bathroom break. Like it's too long. I want to ask this question. Just popped in my head while we were just talking about this. Do you think AEW runs the risk of boring, just having an audience bored out their mind, not bored, but tired out their mind? Like Steven just said, when this match came along, he already was trying to shorten it in his head. Like, man, this should happen right now. Woo, woo. This shouldn't be this long. And you shouldn't. Nobody should feel like that with a main event match. Your money maker match, your money drawer match. This is the match that put people butts in seats. And we was already tired by the time the main event came in because we already been watching wrestling for 3.5 hours already. And these matches ain't no, you can sit down and just watch those type of matches. No, you got a lot of matches that be taking your breath away. Like, man, my goodness, he just did a 450 splash off the top of the rope. It's those type of matches that have you on your feet constantly screaming, losing energy. And by the time you get to the main event, you already wiped out. You ain't got no more energy. You know what I'm saying? You ain't even got no more energy to cheer for MJF because they tried. They gave him an initial pop, but that faded out so quick because they were so tired.
Yeah, usually you have like a buffer match in there that you can just take a breath on and be up again for the main event. But putting the tag title match right where they did, you didn't really get that. It was just another one of those boom, 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 crazy matches. And it's like, okay, well, yeah. And that I'm looking at this Wikipedia joint. That tag title match went 20 minutes, and the main event did too. So
a lot of these matches went almost 20 minutes. Once you look at the, in total time result, there was a lot. I was surprised. I'm like, man, that match was really 20 minutes. Like, didn't feel that long, but it was like 19 or 20 minutes in a lot of these matches. Like, you'd be surprised. They just gave him a lot of time, I guess.
And that's something we complain about every time we come on here. I mean, it is what it is. I guess if you're paying $50 for a pay-per-view, you want it to be loaded. But, it's at the same time, it's like...
You also want it to be loaded with something that's credible. Not loaded with just a whole bunch of stuff that they just throw at you in a week. You know what I'm saying? This past week, they already had like several matches that just made this week for the card. So it was like, yeah, you want it to be loaded, but be loaded for something that you care about.
Yeah, and we'll get into that when we talk about final grades and stuff. But yeah, this pay-per-view, the build was just as bad as when I came on here talking about Double or Nothing. But I do think this show was better than that. So we'll get into it.
Yeah, but yeah, since we were already about to be on the final part to the final grade anyways, yes, I will say that the build going into this wasn't really all that. And honestly, I only was really looking forward to like maybe 3-4 matches on this show.
Kind of remind me any pay-per-view for the WWE last year. You know what I'm saying? In the early part of this year, have a lackluster build, and you don't know if you're going to be a hit or miss once you get to the pay-per-view. That's exactly how it felt to me. One of those type of builds to it. Like, man, yeah, the build to these matches sucks, but let's just see if these matches going to be a banger. Which, they did do their thing, There's a few matches that I did like on here, but the build sucks. It's just, it really does.
That's true. And whatnot. So, like I said, going into this, it was like one of those okay, this build ain't really good, so will this show really be good? That's the thing. And that's like Steven said, it's been going on with that since Double or Nothing. Like we saw it all out, same thing. And like even at the beginning of this whole review, we was like, what are we doing? Are we putting all these people because we want to get them on the card, or does it have to do with the show all the way? Because sometimes it's something like we gotta get everybody on the show just because so they can be.
Yeah, that's what it seems to me. That's what it seems to me. I mean, one hand, that's a good thing. You do want your wrestlers to get their money worth. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
at the same time, get your money worth out of your wrestlers. Okay, that's what I meant to say. But at the same time, do we need to see QT? Nah, we don't need to see QT or his little gang of misfits runarounds. And we don't need to see them. We don't. You know. So can we get people that we care about? Where FTR? Why they at least on the pre-show? At least you try to put QT Marshall on there. Then put somebody who actually over.
Where's Miro?
That's what the problem is. Where's Miro? Where's Miro? Come on now, man. That's all I gotta say. Like you put it all these guys who don't matter at the end of the day, and you ignore all the fan favorites.
I don't think
That-
on this particular pay-per-view that was a problem here, like it
right.
was before. Because I think every single match on the main card had a reason for being there, as opposed
Right.
to pay-per-views in the past where it's like, okay, well, this is here just obviously like a battle royal or something, or a six-man ladder match. Like, but on this card, I feel like everything was more controlled to what was being seen on television. Even if the build was only like a week, but still everything had a place on this card.
That's true. Like most of the feuds did make sense, so it's not I didn't have some of them had some story to it, so at least some of them did make some sense. Because there just been times where they just be throwing matches right out the blue, almost like, okay, why is this on the card? And just because, like I said, this was still a long show. This was another one of these marathon shows, but it wasn't as bad this time. Like the matches that were actually to get excited about and enjoyable too. But at the same time, do these shows really need to be going this long? Almost like it's some WrestleMania time or some shit like that.
Right. I think he needs to figure out what's gonna be the B pay-per-views and what's gonna be the A pay-per-view. Not everything gotta be an A pay-per-view. Not everything will be an A pay-per-view. You know what I'm saying? So you need to figure out what it's going to. That's one thing I did like about Vince and how he structured pay-per-views. He did have B to A pay-per-views. You know what I'm saying? And he knew where the matches have to go. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna get a Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins right there to there. Oh, motherfucker! What? Well, give me a B pay-per-view on Nights of Champions. You know what I'm saying? You're not. You gonna get that on SummerSlam or WrestleMania, but that's what it's supposed to be at.
Well, I
And
think he
he,
has pretty much incorporated that style, though. That's why we have because if you look at each one of these pay-per-views, it's like Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, WrestleMania, Survivor Series, and then all the other stuff, Battle of the Belts, Fight for the Fallen. You could look at those as like the B pay-per-views, and that's why
but
all of these are always like 4 hours long because these are the big pay-per-views because everything else is just on regular TV.
oh, so I get what you said, Steve. Oh, I get what you said. You saying is the B pay-per-views are the ones that be on TNT and TBS,
Right.
and the ones you got the full gear, the double or nothing. And he just got it formatted like that. But I get what you said. He got it formatted like that, but he just don't put the B pay-per-views and make you pay for it. B pay-per-view is gonna be a TV special instead of a B pay-per-view. I
Right.
get what you said, and
Yep.
now I'm looking at it like that. Now I'm looking at it like that. All right, he got it structured that way. Then, yeah, I do like that type of structure. But here's the thing, you know, I never do that. So a person who look at it, how I would look at it before you have mentioned it to me, a person who look at it like that would be like, hold on, wait a second, is this a major pay per view? Why we got 4 hours? Was a major? Is this a major pay per view? And that's how we look at it. Like, all right, cool, it got to be a major pay per view because it with 4 hours that all these matches do go 20, at least 15 or more. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I do get what you're saying, Steven. I like your point.
Yeah, because people got to separate how things were with how this company is. Because every pay per view, people are asking, "Is this AEW's WrestleMania?" But it's like they're not looking for their WrestleMania. They just want every pay per view to be a banger. Like, and that's that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And see, here's the thing. Well, I mean, we know what their WrestleMania is. And while people keep on asking every pay per view is their WrestleMania, it's like, no, you know what their WrestleMania is. It's most likely double or nothing. You know, and it's
I was
like
gonna say
that's
all
what
out.
they
See, the fact that y'all two
all
didn't
out.
agree, you know.
Right, there we go. Then prove your point. Prove your point.
I was saying that's what I was.
Walk right into it. Why you make us walk into that? But nah, but I do feel what you said because for us not to be for sure what they WrestleMania is, it does say the fact that they not trying to get a WrestleMania. They just trying to make sure that the pay per views are bangers and they like them and that people like them.
That's true. That's definitely true. I can see where the point going. Just mostly get people like they don't want to. They just try to make a great show as much as they can. If it does turn out great, because my overall take of like if I wanted to grade this, I give it I want to say maybe a solid B, maybe a B minus. I'm kind of thinking in that range and whatnot. Because there was some really good matches on this show. Like I said, I thought the main event was good. Obviously, we got MJF as the champion, of course. I thought Tony Storm and Jamie Hayter was a really good match. That was one of the good ones tonight. Of course, the Fatal 4-Way we talked about. Personally, I put that as my match of the night. Jungle Boy and Luchasauras was really good. I'm trying to see what else I did like out of the show. Sting and Darby versus Jarrett and Jay Lethal was a crazy wild match. Like those are just some of the ones I really liked out of the night.
Yeah, we're in the same headspace, man. Because I would have given it a B minus because, this show actually could have been an A, actually. But the thing that's making me not give it an A is because a lot of my investment in wrestling comes from the stories being told, and I didn't really care in terms of stakes or anything. I didn't really care going into the show, and I keep dogging Tony for this, man, because he books in such a crazed way that nothing really matters until like the last week until the build for the pay-per-view. And it's like, nah, bro, you're supposed to be building this for months, bro. If you got 4 pay-per-views a year, you should be like month after month building towards something. So when we get to that pay-per-view, it feels like a big deal. And that's why I gave Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy my match of the night, because that was the only one really that had been building for so long that you were like, man, I hope Jungle Boy kicked this nigga ass, bro. And he finally did it. So that's why, work rate aside, it's not going to get an A, because Tony didn't get me
Yeah.
invested in this show, but the wrestlers
Mm-hmm.
did their thing. So I'm gonna give it a strong B, B minus.
Oh well, y'all gave it both B's and stuff. I gave it a strong C minus.
C
Here's the thing.
minus.
I said the thing, bro. Here's
Tell
the thing. It was just because what you just said. You made a beautiful point. I wasn't invested in most of this stuff. And I do give the wrestlers they do. And y'all did go out there, y'all entertain y'all bust out for me. You know what I'm saying? For the fans. But half of the time I was like half into the matches. Like the Jungle Boy and the Luchasaurus match, I didn't really get invested until Jungle Boy So I'm really coming along. I'm like, all right, cool. Here's him getting the win was very good because, like I said, he finally got his payback every day. The next match over took me completely out. Because not only it wasn't one of their matches that they go balls to the walls with because we know they got the best of the 7.
Oh my gosh.
Oh boy.
It still wasn't. It still wasn't. It still wasn't that match. It wasn't. It just still was. It one of those. It was a great value Young Bucks Kenny Omega match. It was a great value. It wasn't a name brand. It was a great value version of it. And I wasn't into it at all.
Yeah, I would say
Jade.
My bad. I didn't mean to interrupt
Jade.
you.
Oh my call him. My
I was
bad.
gonna say it real quick because I've heard this statement a lot. When you seen one Young Bucks match, you've seen them all in a way.
Oh.
Yeah, it's that sometimes that statement becomes truer every other time. I feel like.
But there was a great value version of it. I would like to see actual balls to the wall, but I like we just said, they gotta space this right. They gotta space this out in between 7 matches.
Yeah, they gotta twinkle back the manga.
So Jade and Nyla Rose wasn't a good match to me at all. It's just I was just waiting for Jade to go out here and get to Jade. Boom.
Same here.
42-0. Let go. Let go. Let's get this out the way. The match wasn't good. The feud wasn't good. The whole all of that just wasn't good. I just throw it away. And after that, it was hit and miss. Mostly it was hits. Like I said, I'm really like a Darby Allin the Darby Allin tag team match with Sting and Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal. It was a crazy match. I wasn't too high on the Fatal 4-Way as y'all was, but it was a decent match. But I thought it could have been a little better. A lot better to be honest. I ain't gonna even say little. It could have been a lot better to me. I don't know. It's just nice. Last night just was one of those nights. It was like we had a pay-per-view, y'all. We gotta watch it. If it wasn't for this review, I promise you, I probably would have missed it.
I've heard several people make that statement online. They felt like if I didn't have this channel on YouTube, or somebody said like if I wasn't reviewing this, I probably wouldn't have bought it or watched it. I've heard that from a few people now.
So, dog shit build.
When Bryce hit me up when we was at work and asked me, "Hey, you want to do a review?" I was already thinking about missing this pay-per-view. And he said, "Do you want to do a review?" I'm like, yeah, come on, let's go.
Because some other people I knew, it was like, I'm not doing that review. Like, I'll do Survivor Series, they said, but I don't want to do this Full Gear thing. I had some people come to me already. They was like,
got you for Survivor Series too, Steven?
You want what?
We got you for Survivor Series too?
Next week?
Maybe, because I thought about getting Peacock to watch it. But I mean, yeah, it's War Games, so yeah, I can get down with that.
Yeah, because I know more people already wanted to do War Games than they wanted to do Full Gear. Like, I know some people that kind of came. It's like, yeah, I'll do Survivor Series, but like, nah, I don't want to do Full Gear. Like, they said, who's on this show? And once I kind of explained it, they was like, I'm not really that interested.
I mean, I'm not going to big up Triple H's booking either, man, because my man has fallen off.
Yeah, because he had destruction central down there WWE. Shoot.
Yep.
Nobody can win clean. Nobody. What? Brock Lesnar, you still can't win clean. You can't win clean either, Brock. Dang, even Brock Lesnar can't win clean under Triple H regime, man.
Distraction finish. Everybody's got to look good. We can't have anybody win clean.
Oh, man. That's what I was very surprised. Idea. I was like, dang, my goodness. Like, Triple H, Brock can't win clean. My goodness.
Dude,
Yeah,
you
so
can't
they
protect everybody.
The level boss can't do it. I don't know who can wear clean nowadays.
Yeah, so they're
I
pretty
think
much in the
what people,
same boat right now with this Survivor Series build, like full gear, man. I'm not really into anything, but once we get to the show, I'm sure the wrestlers are going to show up. That's just the way it is.
I mean, that I always, that's what the whole thing with the WWE. They got some top level talent, talent there that can do that. That you could have a lackluster build to a match, and your top level talent can take the match and make it into a 4 star. And you be
Yeah,
like, man, this build was lackluster, but dang, Bianca and Becky just knocked it out the park. You know what I'm saying? It's like, all right,
exactly.
yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. My bad. My wireless headphones have went dead.
Oh, okay.
That's,
I was like, what happened? Not again.
nah, my wireless headphones went out.
But yeah, yeah, the booking over there ain't been the best. Also, I don't even remember what really happened on SmackDown the other night. Out of like two things, and that was kind of it. Unless you want to see some Madcap Moss versus Cross on there.
And you know, for damn sure I don't, bro. So
And I like when it comes to certain things with the booking, I'm not mad at the booking, but it's not always a hit. You know what I'm saying? And I think we need to be like on both sides of the aisle because with us three right here, us three, they're talking. This is the most objective that I ever see and talk to a wrestling fan that like both companies. We the most objective people that I have ever talked to because it's either one side of the aisle with most of these guys, you know. And do we really? Do we really need that? Can we be all objective? I know competition is there, and competition will always be there. And people, and like I said earlier, people always gonna pick their one side. But we can't just look at that one side and say this where the grass is greener. Like
Tribalism.
no, it's
Tribal.
tribalism. We need
toxic
to stop that
tribalism.
because here's the thing. Because that kind of turn off other people for the product sometimes. Man, sometimes the AEW fan base will make me say some things that I don't like saying. Like, man, what you mean? Oh man, that guy ain't even that good. I actually could be liking the guy. But they so tribalist and tribalist is like, my goodness, I can't stand that guy either. They over here trying to count him up and put him on a pedestal and say, I don't like that guy. But here's the thing, he actually good, but because of the fan base so toxic sometimes, it's like both of them. WWE too. You go over there, oh, you can't say that about Triple H. You can't say that about Triple H. Hold on. Time out. I didn't know he was the book of the year too. And I'm like, well, wait a second. We can't say these about these people. We can't say right things about these people, and then we need to stop that. Both companies are in a slump right now. Let's put it like that. Both companies are in a slump. It's to the point that they so much of in a slump. If Impact has some money, they could have knocked them out.
Nah, not with them making Bully Ray the A story.
No, I thought the same thing, bro.
Yeah,
Wait, hold on, what you doing? I ain't like that either. I watched it the other day. I'm like, whoa.
Everybody on some bullshit, man.
Bully Ray.
That's the beat. Yeah, that is. He should not be the number one contender to that championship. And bro, they killed Moose. They killed him.
They got put to the
They
table.
they they,
The
they
truth
buried
thing.
they buried him somewhere. It's in one of these graveyards, but they're last moose for real.
Last
He's right
move.
next to PCO. He's right next to PCO. Yeah, he's
Because
right.
I'm serious. He gonna lie to you. See, I'm serious. I saw Overdrive the other night, and I knew it was going to happen because Bully Ray got the what that shit called,
The
the
trophy.
Call your
Impact Money
shot,
in the Bank.
gauntlet,
Oh,
money
I
in the
called it the Impact Money in the Bank. My bad, but
I mean, that's what it is.
I thought that was Feast of Fire, but okay.
but here's the thing though. If you wanted Bully Ray to go over somebody, why did you choose Moose?
I
Why?
don't know.
That was dumb, and
You
I
see,
didn't like that. And so that's why I just looked at it. I'm like, man, ever since Moose dropped that title to Josh, it been over for him, OVA for him, downhill. Ain't been good since then. And
Well,
I
I
really
like
like Moose.
the Callahan and Macklin feud. I
I
thought that
thought
was
that
cool.
was I wouldn't say he went that far down now. Like he was somewhat
I
in
mean, but
he won in the world
he
title
losing,
picture, but
he losing to guys who ain't been in the ring in years. What? Why did he have to lose to Bully? Like, I said, I don't know, man.
I
I
guess in
guess I
their
get what
mind,
y'all
they're
think.
thinking since it was a table match, it's not a big deal. Like it's not like he pinned him.
Yeah, true.
yep,
But
and
yeah, I
You got
feel
a
you,
good
bro.
point.
I've
and
been
then
And
they
saying
all
this for
they
weeks.
damn near have him kill Josh and his wife out there at the end. He's like you put that title right now. Oh, I swear to God, I will put her on the concrete. Like, like you better do it. Like, give me the belt. Give me the belt. And just threw his wife back at him.
And it's funny. I said the same thing about that. I said, I mean, that's the angle was good,
It was
but
a good
that
angle.
shit went on too long, bro.
Yeah, I was
what
going
you
on.
put on?
Oh, the ending of Overdrive.
Oh yeah.
Just the Bully Ray part, him coming out there doing the promo. You know, I call you. I said I was gonna say it to your face. I caught my shot, and I'm gonna see you at the hot kill, and whatnot. And then right
That could
after,
have you could have used that for Thursday. You ain't have to have him come out at the end of the night. You could have used that for Thursday. Real talk, you could have had him interrupt a promo, told Josh Alexander, I'm gonna call up my shot at this time. You ain't have to use that at the end of the pay-per-view. That that was just too much.
Yeah, it took away from the match that he and Frankie just had because I thought that match was fire.
that was great. That was definitely great. But yeah, before I say anything more about that, I am gonna at least get ready to end this whole video right here and whatnot. Given it's been going on for over about 2.5 hours or something. But
Nah, it did feel like that.
it hasn't. It did feel like it's only been 1 hour. Chat. You forget how long you talk until you actually look at the time.
Because we just some
Just
Uh,
dudes chopping it up, bro. That's
yeah,
how it
just
should be.
chopping it up.
right,
You
we was
shooting the
chopping it
shit.
up. Right,
We
chopping
just
it up.
chopping it up. We shooting the shit. That's the thing. But I will say, final thoughts just on this pay-per-view overall and the grades you guys just gave, or like you just want to go off from the grades you already gave to it.
Very good show, man. If the build matched the action, this was a fantastic show. But I'm
You're
gonna
right.
leave
It
it
would
at
have been a.
very good.
I would have pushed it to the very good margin. I have it at the barely good, okay to good margin because of the bill. But it would have been at that very good category if the bill was good. It seemed like only one thing that was on their mind. It was the world title match. You know,
That's true.
and everything else to take a back seat. Except for probably Britt, if you want to say Britt and Saraya, that was a highly built match too, from where Saraya made her debut. But but other than that, like yeah, it would have been a very good if every match would have got that some type of love. I ain't saying you need all the same love that you give the world championship match because that is short money maker. But at least show some love, to these matches, But other than that, it
Yeah.
was okay.
Oh, saying overall, like I said earlier, like I said, really good show. The build was not good going into this, but it was a pretty good show. No, even though it was like super long and whatnot. So overall, good show in general. Like that's all I will say. So yeah, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at hoodedknight890. Yeah, we'll see what happens this Wednesday. You guys want to plug your Twitter real quick or anything else you want to plug?
Go ahead, Steven.
Just Black Shaggy. Y'all see how I spelled up there. Finally just re-up my distro, so all my music's back up. So, just go bump some shit or not, whatever.
Straight face 40 cal, Kyle Coleman. Follow me on Twitter. And yeah, that's about it.
But yeah, other than that, yeah, see this yeah, we'll see what happens this Wednesday then. Yeah, back over in Chicago. Ooh, ticket sales ain't really a lot of tickets available left. I'll say that. I'm surprised that many left.
Maybe that'll change since MJF is champion. You never know.
Yeah, maybe
Maybe.
I hope I get them. Hope I get them for free again if I go this Wednesday. Hey, I wouldn't mind if that happened to me again. Like I told y'all before, I just got lucky that week. I wouldn't expect to be going to Rampage for free. So hey, I like to go to it again if I get the hit up on it, but we'll see. That was it last year's Thanksgiving Eve. But other than that, the video, yeah, basically yeah, and got a lot of editing to do. So other than that, peace and